Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. It is Monday. We are, I don't even know how many days, 36 days? What did I say in the title? I don't remember. I look it up every time. 36 days, yeah. 36 days until the launch of the game. Hey, just a half. And we're going to work on some real dev issues today. 36 days, yeah. Hey, Schwartz. Hey, Chef Alton. Monday day. Yeah, so let's start with the tenets, and then I want to get into the last like big bug that needs to get fixed, which is controller support. And then sometime this week I want to work on Steam Cloud support, and I'm probably going to do that I'm going to do that off stream, I think, just because it ended up being, I don't know, a little tricky, and there's a lot to look into, and I don't know, maybe my mentality is better, but still I should probably just plan to do it off stream. All right, so sustainability. This has been fine, I think. I only streamed 3 times last week. Oh, because of the shorts? Didn't do Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah. Yeah. So making so many shorts took a lot out of me. But I think I'm generally feeling good. Still only took 1 per stream. Better than nothing. Yeah. Hey, BC. I saw some shorts. Yeah. I think a new one just went live as I started. I've been scheduling a bunch of them. Oh, wow. Look at that. 278 views. When did this go live? Probably then. 8:18. Okay, so maybe like 20 minutes ago or something. I'll share this one in chat if people want to see it. As I find the link. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so I'll share this stat, which I thought was kind of interesting. Actually, let me finish my tenets first. So one of the things I've been thinking about, I've been talking about bricklaying for the longest time. Every step toward finishing the game needs to be done at some point. So it's okay if things take longer than I expect. Enjoy the journey. Don't focus on how long everything's taking. I'm going to replace this. I'm going to replace this with grit because I think it embodies what I want a little bit better. I add this in the brick command. Hey, Prestel. Good morning. I think the issue is that this doesn't mean a whole lot to the average person. I'm going to replace it with grit. YouTube showed me the Easter apple. Did you like it? I don't know, and feel free to be honest. I don't know how to judge shorts sometimes, because I look at most short form content as just being like lazy and bad. And I spend a lot of time on my short form content, but like that doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Hey, Pickle. All right, so we're tired on. Let's get the date tag here. Do that. And yeah, rationale is this. So now let's replace it with grit, which is some tasks will be boring or frustrating, but I need to persevere. This does not mean to work longer hours. Sustainability is still the #1 tenet. Yeah. And I'm going to delete the celebrate the successes thing. I think I talk about this enough now. I don't think it was never really a proper tenet. 85 streams. Wow. Crazy. Yeah, so this is, I read, there was some study done, and I don't really care about the study so much, because in this case, as long as it's not actively harmful to me, I don't think it's a bad thing to do, which is, they said grit was more important for success than intelligence. And I don't think I was trying to coast on something here. I was putting in a lot of hard work, but I think it's pretty difficult toward the end to still put in that hard work. Ranking 5 best things in Skeleseller. Yeah, so my wife and I looked through a bunch of shorts last night from other game devs and other just people who play games, and I came up with another couple ideas for Skeleseller. So maybe I'll work on those at some point. I liked it, but I'm following you. Not sure. Yeah. The new people thing, I wasn't sure too. I just wanted to experiment for a bit and see what would happen. Dialectics, thanks for the resub. I showed my wife that cat bed that attaches to the desk, and she's like, have you tried just putting a cat bed on the desk? And I have, and Abby wasn't that interested. So I'm not probably going to buy that new cat bed. But my legs would probably be very grateful. What accent that morning was? It's Family Guy season 4, episode 20, where Brian is wearing a fake mustache saying morning to Stewie. I could almost place it, but I wasn't totally sure. And yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for following up, Repressal. I can always count on you. All right, so the thing I was going to share, which I think I just closed the design document. No, I had that open over here. Yeah, so the thing I was going to share is this. So here's what we've done so far. I have made, where do we see this? I have made, I don't know where you find this stupid page. Here it is. Okay, yeah, I have made 6 shorts public now about Skeleseller. So this one got about 7,000 views, then 2,000, about 2,000, about, yeah, I mean, if we're rounding the others up, we should probably round this down to 2,000 as well, 2,000. So most are in the 2,000 range. And then this one was just launched like 20 minutes ago, and it's at about 300 views. And then I also published some of these to TikTok and one of them to Instagram so far. So now if we look at the stats, we see wish lists from the last week. So does it say what dates? Yeah. So February 2nd, I started posting these on February 4th. And we can see the previous week was at 200. Well, I guess we just look at the net. 216 wish list versus 342 that we have now. So 342 minus 216 times probably about 20% conversion rate, let's say, times about $10.50 per person. That's probably, if we were to put a monetary value on the shorts that I made, that's probably what it would be. So was that worth spending like pretty much 2 work days doing? And I don't know, because there's another intangible bit of this, which is ads like require a certain amount of repetition before they set in. Probably penetrate is the right market term for that. I don't know. But so it's like, well, maybe it was 265 or so this time, but if I did the exact same thing the next time, this might jump up to a number that's more than double or something, or I got better at making shorts. So I think there was value in doing this. Either way, I think you might run an experiment and have 0 success and still get value out of it now, knowing, oh, it's not worth doing that. Like imagine if I made like a game and I was like, oh, we're going to make the entire game in, I don't know, assembly, and the game fails. It's like, okay, the game could fail. I could have had no fun doing it, but now I know in the future, like, don't do that. That's still a lesson. Ideally, you don't have to go through an entire game to do that. And 2 work days to find out whether or not shorts would have been a bad idea. Could still be valuable. So yeah, I might make some more, but I don't have a ton of ideas. I've got like 2 or 3 more. Mileage may vary. Yeah, I figure elevation has something to do with it. But it's also $50, and I don't want to deal with returns again. I have to return this mouse that I got because the right click sticks on it. And I think I'm done buying mice like this. I think what I'm going to get next is going to be that thing, what's it called? The Swift Point Z. There's going to be a Z3 apparently. So this mouse looks nuts. I'm not even certain it'll meet my needs, but it's got, like, this is left click and this is right click. Then there are these switches here, and then there are these switches here. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on the side as well. There are these 2 buttons and these 2 buttons. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. But the software is really configurable, and that's what I'm kind of interested in. There's some other features I don't care about. But yeah, I kind of want to try that. Should do an N64 game next. Oh man, there's some people who are still working on N64 games, and they're crazy. Yeah, the games they're making, you know, they might be fun. They're taking a very long time. There's a lot of optimizations you need to learn. You need to understand the hardware inside and out. And then you're still going to be limited at the end of the day. It's like, let's say I were making a game in Godot that looked like an N64 game. I could, at the end of the game, throw in like 400,000 times the number of particles or objects or something, and like the computer would be able to handle that probably. But on an N64, it's like, well, you don't even have that option, which I get is part of the fun probably. But yeah. Okay, so What we're going to work on is the controller stuff, and I have my Steam Deck here, but I am missing a charger. Okay, hang on. Let me go grab my backpack really fast. I'll be right back. Okay. Plug this in. Because depending on how long this takes, the Steam Deck's not going to last. Also, Phil, I don't know if I said hi, but hi, Phil. Okay, Steam Deck is here. So I think step one is figure out how to get builds onto the Steam Deck. So option one would be, what's that thing called? Copy Party? Yeah, Copy Party from desktop mode. And option two is Steam Beta Build. I don't think either of these is great. This one's probably a little bit faster. So like the total flow would be build from my Mac OS, well, from my Mac for Linux. And then put the build somewhere. And then fetch it from the Steam Deck. Oh, man. I don't know what it's like to run things from desktop mode. I guess I can't share my screen if I do that though, can I? Yeah, maybe we go with option two. I think we go with option two so that I can use remote play. Okay, well, let's go find the issue controller. Yeah, I don't know what today's going to look like in terms of progress. I have one idea, and if that idea doesn't work, I don't know what we do. So yeah, this has an interesting workaround we should try. We may need prefer Wayland as mentioned here. If we can't work around this bug, we should definitely warn Linux users about this when they try to use a controller. And Steam Deck users may not have this problem due to the built-in mouse support. Hey, Matt. N64 was a dev nightmare compared to the other old consoles. So yeah, I've heard a bunch of things. I follow this person named Kaza. I think this is their name. This is, by the way, a very good YouTube channel to watch if you're interested in like N64 development. But yeah, this person has made their own Mario game based on, like, if you just look at their videos, first of all, Mario's in like all of them. They have very thoroughly looked through the Mario code base to understand how to make a better Mario game. And it's just kind of crazy to see. All right, so this issue's still open. What has there been any chatter on this? 2 more items. Are these new? Because November 2025 is not newer than when I posted this, which is January 1st. Where's the new stuff? Self-assigned 3 weeks ago, really? Now there's an official pointer warping protocol, so we don't have to abuse the old pointer constraints. Oh, man. Okay, I guess let's write this down over in updating Godot. This issue may eventually get fixed, which would make it so that we don't need to commit any hacks for Linux controller support. Everything's working fine on Windows and Mac. And Windows and Mac is going to be, well, Windows is probably going to be the bulk of how people play, except for SteamOS. So if we can get this working on SteamOS, I think we'll be fine. If it doesn't work on Linux, then whatever, we just say use a mouse and keyboard on that. You can always download Godot and VS Code on your Steam Deck for builds. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I never really thought about that. Option 3, download Godot and run directly from the Steam Deck. I guess we could share the screen with a VNC viewer, right? Steam Deck VNC viewer. This would probably be, yeah, probably do something like this. What is this? Yeah, there's probably, I could probably like set something up over here. I don't want to do that today, I think. No, we're not updating Godot. We're trying to fix an issue on the Steam Deck. Actually, you know what? I could share this pretty easily right now. Let me do that. Let me show you what the issue is. So this is running, and now I just have to go to engage privacy mode. Okay, give me 1 sec. And now I click this, and then this, and then this. Okay, you can see this, right? Hey, Sarah. Yeah, there were a lot of fireworks going off, and I'm like, why is that happening? My wife was like, you didn't hear the news. I'm like, nope. You guys can see this, right? The game? Because this is being streamed from the Steam Deck. And yeah, we can. Okay, good. Yeah, so anyway, all right, so here's what's happening, right? I got it on my Steam Deck. If I move the right stick, you can see the cursor moving. But I can't click anything. That's a gigantic problem. So that's the issue. But actually, okay, let me turn off the... Oh, I can't even click this, even with a mouse? Okay, hold on, this might be a different problem. I don't know what I do about this. Yeah, I don't know what I do about this. I wonder if this is considered mouse support right now. It's moving the mouse on the Steam Deck as well. What if I click this? Okay, this is not good. Hey, Mr. Evil Rex. You set up a control scheme so input gets mapped? I think I had to set up a control scheme so input doesn't get mapped, actually, because Steam by default... Oh, you can't see this part now. You can hear it, apparently. Oh, you can see this. Okay, cool. So yeah, game pad with mouse trackpad. I just want gamepad. Maybe that's not a thing you can do. Right stick click. What? Oh boy. Would it work with Steam input on deck? So it should. I think there are a couple things that might be wrong here. Any hiccups to the release date? I think everything's okay. Hard to know though. I guess I can turn this off. This joystick? Okay, so what happens now? Oh, okay. I can go into this. And it's set to windowed already. Oh, this is like super blur. Oh, it's only blurry because of the screen resolution right now. So I can't click any of this stuff. Wait. How did I do that? Oh, I'm closing this somehow. Okay, so it doesn't... Okay, yeah. I think this is the original issue. I think it's that it doesn't know where the mouse is. Oh, I can click that. What? So I can't click anything on the title screen? This is so bizarre. Hey, Ocleus. Yeah, like, look, I can hover over any of these things and click any of these, but I can't click the buttons at the bottom. I can't click this checkbox. I wonder if I do this, what happens? Can I now click this stuff? No, I can't. I can't even save this. Oh, I can save it through that. Can't click any of this. Maybe it's masked. It's on top of play game. Yeah, maybe there's something else that's stopping this. Oh, you know what I could probably try? I could increase this and then see. Yeah, I think you might be right. Because if I like super zoom in and then scroll down. Now I can click save. Okay, yeah. Hey, Mr. D-Boy. Yeah, I do not know what's going on there. And why is it only on... Okay, so how do I leave this? Okay, let's go try it through this. Something must be taking up... Refresh sign in. This account was logged in on another computer. I don't care about that. What is happening? Okay. Yeah, I can click this stuff just fine. Ah, man. I don't know how much pain we're in for here. So if I click there, what does this think that I clicked? It's some VBox container. Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, the problem is to even test something different out, I think it's going to take like, I don't know, 5 minutes of exporting and uploading and then downloading. And so we got to be very careful with our builds. But yeah, something at the bottom here is blocking this. All right, well, let's inspect the scene. We have to do as much as we can through just scene inspection and code inspection. It could be specific to that resolution. I don't know, though, because if I shrink this down to that resolution, like, we should have the same problem happen here. And I don't know if this is exactly the resolution, but let's imagine that it is, right? Like, I can still click things here. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if I sized this window correctly. 646 by 457. So it had to be, what, 640 by 400? I don't know, it's probably like that. Need the same resolution? Well, okay, yeah, I guess the window size is now the same, but yeah, the actual resolution of the monitor isn't the same. Anyway, something probably does cover this. But I don't know what. Did that launch on the... Okay, well, let's go look at the title screen. Hey, Cypher. So, what could be getting in the way here? If I just click here, what happens? Dialogger. Mouse is set to ignore, so it can't be that. And let's hide that. Now click again. Now it's background. Mouse is set to pass. That should be fine. Let's hide that and then click again. Now it's nothing. Oh, now it's game buttons. Mouse is set to pass. That should be fine. Bottom buttons. Mouse is set to stop. Interesting. This control could potentially have a size on the Steam Deck, even though it shouldn't. I don't know how it would, because like I said, size is 0, 0. But we can just fix that. Well, we could work around it, I guess, by setting it to, where is it? Game buttons, bottom buttons. Here it is. We set the mouse to ignore here. So now the buttons at this bottom should still work. Yeah, they do. Well, I think they do. I don't actually know. Maybe I did break this. No, the quit button definitely worked. Oh, it's because I hid something that I didn't mean to hide. Let's try it again. Yeah, that works. Okay. Well, so I'll give a point if this ends up working. Is there anything else that this could cause a problem with? That's set to pass. Is there a way to look at the mouse filter for everything? Do we even have it set to stop for anything? This one was set to stop, so I guess we could just look at that. Yeah, let's do that. So here, it was set to, well, it's set to nothing. Oh, stop by default. So to search for the absence of mouse filter. All right, I'll just go through all of these. In fact, if we favorite this, favorite property, now we can just see it up there. So I can just press down here. This is stop. That's good. That's good. That's good. Pass. That's okay. Any button should be set to stop. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Aha. What's this? New challenge run screen. This is hidden by default though, and we don't see it show up. It's probably not an issue. Game version label. This actually shouldn't be set to pass. And then the tooltip, yeah. Huh. I don't think it was this. And I don't know if I want to push another build just for that. But I guess let's go figure this out. Release tool. So how do I do this? I just want to run export all platforms. So we can delete all of that stuff and all of this. And then I want this to be the demo version though. I want to make game 2 using C#. Any advice? Trying to think if there's any specific advice for C#. I think one, make sure your IDE is good. So if, what is that one called that JetBrains made? Rider, I think. I would suggest trying that. But keep in mind that, and I don't know how much you care about this, so you might not care. And maybe I'm poisoning you now by telling you what this is. But if you go look at their license, you have to pay if you're planning on using this for commercial stuff. So technically, if you're like trying things out or you're prototyping, you could just download it and it's free. But then, yeah, you need to pay some amount per year. So I'm dealing with some of the jagged points of VS Code. If you're developing on Windows, you could use proper Visual Studio, and that might be totally fine. Might even be better. So I guess that's one thing I have as a tip. Another thing, this might help you at some point. I'll link you my notes that I did for C# and Godot. They're not massive. Oh yeah, you might be using Unity, I guess, right? I saw you messing around with Unity on your stream. In which case, you could ignore that note. So it's pretty much like make sure your IDE is good. And yeah, that's about it, I think. Oh, you are using Godot. Okay, yeah. Well, then those notes might help. Other than that, I'm not sure. If you have questions as you go through, feel free to ask me. It's hard for me to think off the top of my head of what might you encounter. Because like C# is just a language. So assuming you know the language, I don't really think you're going to run into any issues. I didn't see you try Unity. No, I just saw your title saying you were trying Unity. All right, what am I doing? Export all platforms. I don't want to export all platforms. I want to export just Linux. Platform.linux. Now we delete all of this. Okay, so now if I run the release tool, which how do you do this? I don't know. .NET, something, release tool. It was rough. I would expect that from anyone new to Unity. Even if you've done game dev before, even if you use other engines, it's like, yeah, learning the quirks of any engine is going to be difficult, especially because you have expectations based on your previous game dev experience. And when it's not there, they do things in a totally different way, or you find out that something's really obtuse. Yeah, it's a speed bump. All right, so can't we just run like .NET release tool? Is that a thing? Could not execute because the specified command or file was not found. There's some way to do this. I just don't remember how. .NET. .NET run. Can I do that? Oh, nice. All right, what happened? Invalid project path specified game. What, am I supposed to run this from the root directory? Okay, fine. .NET run project tools / release tool / whatever the project file is. Release tool.csproj. I don't know how many arguments, so I guess let's just run it like that. Hey, nice, we did it. Okay, cool. So this is how we run it from the command line. So let's go write that down. You can run via the command line with this from the root directory. So this is going to build, I assume this is going to take like 35-ish seconds. And then, how long did that take? 26. Okay, that's slightly better. So then once we have the build, I can upload it to a specific part of Steam to get it onto a beta branch. No, that's not what we do though. Hey, Flair. All right, let me turn this off for a sec. Did that just close the game? Yeah, it did. Okay, so goal get this build onto my Steam Deck. I think we got to upload through a particular depot. And I think I want it to be on the... Well, it's not exported with a demo, though. The release. I should do it on the release version. Yeah, so it should be the release version on a branch, since no one has access to the release version. So if I accidentally share a password, it won't matter. Oh, man. Okay, so now what do we have to do? We have to upload to Steam. Yuck. Ask to upload to Steam. Okay, what does that do? Upload to Steam. Create Steam input and output folders. Is there a way to just upload to the Linux depot? It probably is. It probably is. Wait, didn't I make a Steam Deck thing? I did. Couldn't find a way to do this without entering desktop mobile. Once there, open file manager, home, blah, blah, blah. I haven't looked into this yet. So I just export the Linux build and upload to a password protected branch on Steam. Process takes about 45 seconds. I didn't say how I do this, though. Why? Why? Oh, man. Hey, leave your girl. All right, well, maybe I can just call this function upload to Steam. I don't know. Let's just go try this out. I'm not going to have it ask. And the flavor is going to be build flavor.release, I guess. And then I guess it should tell us the instructions afterward. Where does it do that? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so what's this doing? This is asks to upload. I don't want it to ask me anything. I want to just call upload. Okay. I mean, it's going through every platform. I don't really want it to do that, but whatever. Okay, let's go try that. I'll cut this out for a sec and we'll run this one more time. So it should just upload it to Steam for me. It looks like it's working. In which case I can go put this back to where it was. Yeah, nice. Okay, so now I go here. Don't show that on stream. Yep, I know. And there it is. Okay, so now create new app branch. We're going to call this Steam Deck Testing. Password. Engage privacy mode. All right. There. Description can't be empty. Testing on the Steam Deck. Password too short. Okay, I typed Oppressal as the password. I'm going to come up with a better password now. Oh, man. I just got to be something easy to type on the Steam Deck. All right, there. All right. Like I said, no one should even have access to this, even if they have the password. Like, let's say it was still Oppressal. You don't have access to the release build. So now I put this on Steam Deck testing. Set build live. And that's it. Yeah, so let me write this in here. For this, I just modified release tool so that I only had the Linux build exporting and the Steam upload running. So it looks like this. I chose the release build so that people who got the branch password on Steam wouldn't have access. Well, yeah, wouldn't have access. 10 billion in ADP. Or 10 trillion, I didn't count the commas. Okay, so now I can try it on my Steam Deck. And then I can share my screen in a sec, but before I get to that, I need to set up the password over here. So let me figure out how the... Oh, I don't even have the right game on here. I have the demo version. I need the full game. Where do I get the full game? Is this it? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Whoa, stream from Adam's Apple. Wait, doesn't that mean that I could just have done this from over here? Oh, Steam's not even logged in. Okay, hang on a second. Oh, God. Yeah, it's just a basic controller support, though, Mr. D-Boy. So it's just a virtual cursor. I know we were talking about this before, and you've got, like, the proper controller support with all the icons and stuff. Give me a sec. I'm trying to log in. This is gonna... Oh, something went wrong. What happened? Xtonomous. I don't want to be logged in as Xtonomous. Right? Do I? I guess I don't really care who I'm logged in as. Yeah, sure, fine. Log in as that. Oh, yeah. So there's going to be some setup here, and then we're going to eventually get to the point where we're testing something. Sign in approved. Why didn't it sign me in then? Oh, there it goes. All right. Make myself offline. Don't care. Library. So this is the proper version of Skeleseller. If I click this and stream from Steam Deck, okay, that's what I should be doing, I think, in the future. But first, I need to change the password. How do I do that? Betas. Here we go. Okay. Beta participation. Check code. You can't see this, right? I'm typing in a password right now. All right, there we go. So I've opted into the beta. Now what happens when I click this? Stream from Steam Deck. Instead of running this game here, we'll stream it to you from a computer named Steam Deck. Okay. I'm going to assume that's not that private. Is it working? Whoa, look at that. Whoa. Okay. So, can I magically press these buttons now? My God, this is so difficult. No, I cannot. Can I click them? No. Something's still taking up the bottom of the screen. But I don't know for sure that this is the new version I just made. So we got to go validate that somehow. All right, fine. Ugh. Let's just change the background color to some bizarro modulation. I'll just make this like... This looks so evil. Okay, let's do that. All right, so now we just run this, and it should put it online for me. Yeah, Axel plays. Move the button to the top. Maybe see if it's a bottom of the screen issue at the same time. Yeah. Well, first I just want to make sure, am I even doing anything right now? So if we don't see that the screen is dark red, then I have a problem. Till you release it right in the main screen, a current version of the build. Yeah. I already do that. Which actually I didn't look at it to see if that's happening. This should be uploaded though. Wait, did it not work? PDF file does not contain expected placeholders for input-output paths. Oh, because you got to revert these at the end. Okay, let's copy a path to this. And do git checkout that and run that other stuff. Yeah. But the top also solves that too. It does. Yes, you're right. I probably should have just changed this, but I just want to see it be red. I wonder if there's a way to make like our own version of the debugger inside the game so we can tell where we're pointing at. It's probably doable. You think it's safe to make a LinkedIn account and send them my actual ID when they ask for it? I don't know. Yeah, I think with any of this stuff, it all comes down to what are you placing your trust in? I mean, LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft generally cares about not leaking data. That doesn't mean that they've been immune to it. So I think it's always a judgment call. Why is this taking so long? Why is this taking so long? Huh. It's never just like randomly paused there. Is this how you upload builds? I upload builds through my release tool usually, yeah. I'm not sure why this is just stuck here though. Okay, take care, Presley. Have a good workout. Huh. It's strange that it's stuck here. I don't think it's going to complete. I should probably just stop it at this point. Strange. Okay, let's try this again, but let's cut out the export so that it's super fast. Is this going to work now? It should take like 5 seconds or less. It's not doing that. Still using the dev web build portal? Oh, I didn't even know there was a web build portal. Maybe I could do that then. Where is that? Web uploads. Wow, yeah, there it is. Oh man, I highly recommend automating that. Yeah, because this lets me push all 3 builds at once. They just immediately go to the right place. I can push a demo version or a playtest version or a release version. What's weird though is it's just not working anymore. I haven't seen that happen. What day is it? It's Monday. Okay, I was gonna say if it's Tuesday, it could be Steam maintenance day. Are there any sort of like Steam status, Steam down? Are people having problems? Everything says normal. Some of these are a high load, but otherwise it's not looking bad. I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. Takes you 3 to 4 tries. I've never seen this happen before, except for if Steam is going through maintenance, and it shouldn't be right now. It's always just worked, and it worked up there too. So like, I know it's not a problem with that. Weird. Yeah, weird. This charging? Yeah. Well, I'm glad I'm tackling this, although I've made no progress so far. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, let's try something a little bit kind of goofy here. I want to run this from another tab. I don't think it's going to do much, but let's just try it. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it's going to do much. I think what might help is seeing if Steam CMD is running. So let's open up Activity Monitor. I'll just take a look off screen really fast. Steam CMD. Steam CMD is running in 1 instance right now. And it's doing almost nothing. Just in terms of CPU usage. So if I quit this, that should close, right? Yeah, it did. It did. Ugh. So it's not like there's some process that just stuck running. Maybe it's related to connected Steam Deck. I thought maybe it could be, but I don't know how. And I don't even know how I'm connected right now because I'm not currently running the game. I guess I could just turn off the Steam Deck. And then we just try running this again. How long? I let this run for 2 minutes when I let it run for the longest. 2 minutes is way longer than it needs. What am I missing? Maybe it has to do with my login information. I don't know how that could be the case. So is there some notification on my Steam thing saying like... No, I don't think so. Huh. Yeah, huh. Okay, do I have any notes on Steam CMD? There should be some setup information, right? Hey, TJ. Steam CMD. What am I running here? Running command login. Stuck on login. Not logging in. Oh, this says outdated packages. But I should be updating it every time I run it. It's not failing either. It's not saying invalid password. Like, is some other window popped up on my machine? No. What am I missing? What am I missing? I'm not doing anything differently from how I was normally doing it. Getting stuck when starting? I mean, this is kind of what's happening. This is from 2024. They're getting stuck at a different point than mine's getting stuck. Oh, hey, there are logs. Steam logs, whatever. Okay, let's go find that. I'm going to do this off screen. So it's in the home folder. Then I should see .steam here. I don't. I see .ssh and then just .swift. All right, let me take a look over here. Yeah, I don't see a Steam folder like this. Where are Steam CMD's logs? Login, scripts, command line, convars, app build, app update. Whoops. Login's not working though. Let me try that. I don't know. Login. It just logged me in. Look at this. I'm apparently in the Steam thing now. What happens if I type help? Okay, well then maybe we should just run this again. Okay, I am so confused at why this is. Do I have any other thing that I've modified over here that could have caused this? No, it's only this file. This is only where to pull the uploads from. Man. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Timed out waiting for user issue. I'm not even, or info. I'm not even sure that it's this. And this is from 2019. Are they fixing any issues in this? 3,500. Okay, they are fixing issues. Hey, DevDad. Have you ever tried the Kinesis? You fly on that thing, so I'm curious of comparison. No, I didn't. My keyboard journey was actually a video I made over here that talks about the keyboards I went through. You don't have to watch this, and I'll sum it up very quickly by telling you it went the Microsoft ergonomic keyboard to, I think, the Ergodox briefly, to the GMMK Pro, to the Moonlander, to the Korn. And I liked this keyboard, and I liked this keyboard. And I don't really think I liked any of the ones in between. And that's not to say that they're necessarily bad. They just weren't really for me. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. What do we do here? What do we do? Maybe we just work around this. Yeah. Maybe we do the web upload thing. Standard will perform the typical depot update. Upload a depot replacing the existing one. Merge with baseline will update and insert the files. I don't know what I would pick there. What do you pick for this, Mr. D-Boy? Do you, when you do the web upload, do you do standard or merge with baseline? I probably should just do standard. Okay, let's close out of this. So this output, is there anything in here? There is not. But the input should have something in here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's try this. I've never done this before. I don't know what I even have to upload. Choose file? Do I have to zip everything? Can I just do this from Skeleseller? Game out Linux skeleseller.zip. Upload. Okay, looks like it's done. Almost done. There's a progress bar that's at like 99%. Well, I didn't know this was even a thing, so I should probably write this down. You can manually upload zipped build files to Steam via app data admin. Says hi, then goes to face meeting Monday. Oh man. Yeah, I have you 1.5 years, Kevin. Thank you. Thanks for the resub. Have a good meeting. And hey, Kobold. So flyby visit. Thought I'd let you know I got one of your YouTube shorts organically on my feed. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I saw what you were saying in Fullbox's stream about brutal feedback and honest feedback. And I couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt because I know I shared feedback and I don't ever claim to be brutally honest with people, but I do type very tersely when I'm writing my stream of consciousness notes. And then I shared those and not usually a rework of them. So anyway, I hope there are no hard feelings on that front. Because I did the same with Fullbox, although he hasn't read it yet. But I played Scope Creep just yesterday and I shared my feedback. And I was like, look, overall, you know, I think it's good what you made. Here's my direct feedback. Here's some things I think can be improved. What am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah, so through Steam app data admin, then Steam pipe, then web uploads. Web uploads. I heard a noise. Cakes, thanks for the raid. I saw you were feeling better, no longer sick. I'm glad to hear it. I hope you're feeling better on the release front too. I was curious about why there was a lack of motivation, so I went and watched your VOD. And I heard what you said about a combination of like rent money and just wanting to move on to the next game. But yeah, I hope you're hanging in there. And welcome everyone. Never let Adam play my game. So, okay, what we're working on today, for those who've never been here, it's still Skeleseller. We're still trying to make it better. But right now what I'm trying to do is get a Linux version of the game onto my Steam Deck so that we can test controller support. And this has unfortunately been very obnoxious because the command line just broke for some reason. So I should have a new build here. I don't know where it went. Building depot done. Commit uploaded as, oh, nice. Oh, here we go. Okay, so notes commit. Okay, so let's try that. Set build live for branch. All right, good. All right, so now here's what we can try. Let's try this. All right, we can try launching the game. Why is it not showing up? Oh, maybe I have to hit update. Now why is it not showing up? Huh, that's weird. Usually there's a little button next to play that lets me play it from the Steam Deck. Why is that not there? Does anyone know that? I wonder if I need to connect to this again. Man, this is annoying. Okay, engage privacy mode. Give me 1 sec, then I think I can show this. I'm very glad I didn't just show that on screen. Okay. Remote play. No devices available. What? What? Hang on a second. What's going on? Yeah, that's weird. Neither system can find the other system right now. This wasn't an issue when I tried this earlier or even yesterday. Just turn on Steam Deck, go to Mac OS, use Remote Play. No need to install anything. Maybe I should toggle this on and off. Still says nothing available. Yeah, I don't see anything here either. What's... All right, I don't know what to do. I don't know why this stuff just started breaking. Quit Steam and launch it again, maybe? Yeah, I guess I'll try that. All right, one more time. Engage privacy mode. Give me a sec. This has been somewhat painful this morning to try to get all this stuff working. All right, offline, yep, blah, whatever, I don't care. Oh, I'm logged in as 2 different accounts. I think that's why. Oh my God. It's because of the QR code thing. Yeah. I'm logged in here as Xtonomous, and I'm logged in here as my personal account. Oh, I hate this. All right, how do I switch logins on a Steam Deck? Where do you do this? Change account. I found it. Okay. So it says shutting down Steam. Yeah, so I should write that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Almost draw my Steam Deck off my lap. Make sure you're on the same account. Also, if not, the green down arrow won't show next to play. Oh, whoops, you guys can't see this anymore. Sorry. On the Mac. Yeah, so store these notes somewhere. All right, it says update complete. I guess Steam wasn't up to date. Not that that probably had anything to do with this. It's probably just more so that I'm logged into different accounts. All right, who's playing? Add a new account. Sign in with account name or use the mobile app. Mobile app time. I really hope we can just fix this problem. All right, so I'm logging in. Oh, look at that. There's the button. So now we can click this and stream from Steam Deck. Although it wouldn't know that I'm on that branch, right? Oh, nothing's ever easy. Oh, well, let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. 7816. It's not going to be red, I bet. Oh, it is. Wow. Okay, so I'm getting updates. The reason the version doesn't show at the bottom left is because I never ran through the correct channels for this. So anyway, here's the issue now. We can't click these buttons, but we can click things that are up here on the screen. So it's only once we get down into this area that something's wrong. I wonder what would happen if we try full screening this. Now we can click anything. Why is this not full screen then? Didn't I do something about this? Steam Deck is running on Steam Deck. There's a function for this? That's pretty good. What's the point of this? We can just download it on the Steam Deck. So you can control it on the PC as well. So our goal is figure out why controller support is broken on Linux. And in order to do this on stream, I need to cast a Linux device, which happens to be the Steam Deck. So that's why I'm doing it that way. If I were testing just controller support, I could just do it natively on Mac. But we're specifically trying to find out why it's broken on Linux. So yeah. Hey, Dino. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in. Welcome in. Howdy, everybody. We are trying to, I guess I just wrote it down. We're trying to figure out controller support on Linux. And in this particular case, it's that the game wasn't full screen. But there's another problem that's going to come up. So we should probably use the built-in is on Steam Deck thing to put the game into full screen. Or just start in full screen on default if the resolution's low enough. I think we already do that though. And I gotta find out. Yeah, here. Display height at which we default to full screen is 800. That's what the Steam Deck native resolution is, right? 1280 by 800, yeah. So where do we use this? Figure out first time window mode. This doesn't sound good. Because somehow my save file must have had windowed in there, but why? How is that possible? Oh no, I don't know. Yeah, I don't see a problem with this. Figure out first time settings, figure out the window mode. Maybe I could delete my file on the Steam Deck and make sure that it goes into full screen the first time. Yeah, I should probably do that. But like I said, I don't think this is easy to do. None of this stuff is easy to do, is it? Couldn't find a way to do this without entering desktop mode. Man, if anyone could figure that out, that'd be great. Like, is there a way for me to... If I click this, what happened? No, there's no file manager. Oh, no. View game details? What's in here? Doesn't manage usually have open files on a desktop device? Browse local files. Yeah, that's not there. It's just hide this game, mark as private. Okay, so I don't think you can do this from SteamOS. So I probably need to do this from desktop mode. Hey, Funky Monkey. If 1280 wide, if you have it set to 800 wide, Steam Deck will be larger. It's height. Yeah, it's height. Where is that? Oh, I had it in there somewhere. No, here it is. Yeah. So if the Y size of this is less than the height. Wait a second, less than. Oh, less than or equal to. Yeah, good. By the way, Funky Monkey, do you mind DMing me? This is a very weird thing to ask you on stream. The city name that you live in. My wife and I might visit your country this year. And I was thinking I'd just drop by unannounced. No, that I'd talk to you. Reverse stocks. No, I haven't said anything specific there. No one knows anything. And you don't have to share if you don't want to, Funky Monkey. We don't have to meet up if you don't want to. Okay, so I got to go into desktop mode. How do we do that? Switch to desktop. Okay, cool. Oh, don't mind? Okay, cool. Yeah. Let me write this down. Cool. You can't dox someone else by having them volunteer that information. That's not possible. Okay, so I have, whoops, I want to show you this. I have the desktop version open on my Steam Deck right now, and I have local settings right there. So I should be able to just delete this file. This is not very easy to use. Where's delete? Move to trash. Okay, so now I have no local settings thing, and now I'm going to go back to... My God, this is so difficult. I don't know how to drag a window. There, cool. Return to gaming mode. I'll DM you for follow-up dates. Okay, yeah, sure. We don't have any dates planned, and we're not even certain that that trip is happening. Hey, Dino, yeah, how'd the stream go? I wasn't sure that you were here. I didn't want to keep badgering, because every once in a while I'll try to engage with the person who raids, and they're not even present. And then I just feel bad. Yeah, how'd your stream go? I don't know how much longer I'll be able to use Discord if they're forcing that ID thing. Man, I only just heard about that today because of people talking about it in chat, and that sounds very unfortunate. Okay, so here's what we're going to test. I'm going to launch this again, but it should be in full screen to begin with because there was no local settings file there. So then the only question is, how did I ever put it in windowed mode? I don't know how I would have done that. Maybe I manually modified the file. Maybe I just tried it out at one point. I'm not sure. Is it working? Did I actually click the button? Oh, no, I didn't. I need to click stream. What's going on? Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. So, can I click these things? This is super sensitive. Yes, I can. But that doesn't work. But if I move the mouse and then press it? No, that still doesn't work. Oh, what does that mean? Let me turn this down. Had my game jam extended. I don't like making AI in games. Try to cheat it out. Now nothing works. Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, for the sake of the game jam, it might mean that you missed the cutoff or that you extended, I guess. But for the sake of a game, you can always take however long you want. Okay, so the issue is if I press R2 on this, I can click. But if I press R1, it doesn't work, and I'm pretty sure it should. So I think we need to maybe turn off the mouse controls. Steam input. All right, I want to change this, right? Gamepad with joystick trackpad. Let's try that. Apply layout X. Cool. Okay. So now I think we're good. Ah, now it works. Okay. So is this the hardware mouse? It should be. In which case, this is just working totally fine. Interesting. So this is just a problem on proper Linux and not on SteamOS. I don't know how that's a thing. Don't want to continue it as an actual game project? Ah, I see. Okay, yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. So I wonder if the rest of this stuff works. So I can skip this. So I'm on the Steam Deck right now. And okay. Here's what's happening. So on my computer right now, you can see the cursor. On the Steam Deck, there is no cursor. And actually, when I hover over, look around, I don't even see it. Oh, I do see it changing colors. But is this only a casting problem? If I stop casting this? Just close the game. Give me a sec. I gotta go find this again. It's horrendous. So annoying. Also, there's no way to differentiate the playtest version from the regular version of Skeleseller. Oh, there we go. I should just uninstall the playtest. All right, I'm gonna try this out. I just don't talk about it on stream, Funky Monkey. You can DM me. I will share privately. Is that a hardware or software cursor issue? Yes, it is. Yeah, okay. So I can't really show this, but I have it running on my Steam Deck and there's no cursor. But I think yeah, it's just not visible. What would cause that? Okay, this must be the issue that I'm trying to solve here then. So then I can stream this, but you wouldn't see. All right. Well, anyway, we have our test bed, so I understand what's going wrong with the first part of that. And I'm going to write this down too. Troubleshooting. You can't click on the bottom of the screen. The game needs to be in full screen for this to work. Otherwise, Godot is trying to render a 1080p game onto a 1280 by 800 screen. Friday Adam was pixelated. All right, so here's what we do. We gotta try. Someone put some code in here. This. Anyone looking for a workaround, you can hide the mouse, warp, and then unhide it, and then it works for some reason. So I desperately hope this works because this would just fix everything. All right, so they say to set the mouse mode to hidden and then set it back to visible. All right, so let's turn this into the proper mouse mode equals mouse mode hidden. Then at the end, we set it back to visible. Then we call warp mouse. Then we delete this. And then what do we do? Get the position and stuff? This we already have done. Okay, so then that's all we need to do. All right. Again, desperately hoping this works because this is so easy to do. We just put an if statement around it and make sure we're on Linux or maybe even just Steam Deck. I don't know. So let's go try putting this on the Steam Deck again. So I need to go into our release tool and export that and then try running this, but it might fail. Whoops. Please work. Please work so I don't have to do this the annoying way. This part takes 26 seconds, so we can't speed this up. It's exporting to Linux right now. I guess while that's happening, I can close out of the game. That was easy. Yeah, I think it's pretty important the game works on Steam Deck. I don't think it's all that important if controller support works on Linux proper, because eventually Godot is going to fix this issue. We'll do state machine for AI. Should not take a lot of time. Yeah, I think you have a couple routes. It's either, yeah, figure it out on your own. And you said you didn't want to continue working on the game, so it's kind of just for the game jam, or it's use AI, or it's try to bypass this issue some other way. Any suggestion as a Discord alternative? I don't know. But also, even if you find a Discord alternative, how long is it before whatever caused you to go to Discord, or sorry, caused you to go from Discord happens to this new application? Like, what if these ID verification things happen everywhere? This is not going to work. I don't know why this isn't going to work. Why did this just stop all of a sudden? There was a debugging thing that someone shared, so let me just go try that. -con debug. Maybe it will show something. Okay, let's do this off screen. How do I even pass this in? Steam CMD. Here it is, plus login. Okay, so let's pass in -con debug here. And then get rid of this. I'm going to try this off screen and we're going to see what happens. Okay, it's saying it's running with -con debug, but I don't see anything different. Where did you get that argument from? Steam CMD -con debug. Huh, I don't know if this is where I'm even supposed to find this. Is there a verbose tag or something? Connected Steam to TV monitor. Started using it more often. Was very happy with how many games actually run on Steam Deck. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Steam Deck has been great for gaming overall. I don't even really use mine, but I still think it was a good thing for Valve to make. Verbose debug. Okay, I don't know where this stuff is. Allow debug. Con debug. Logs all console output to console.log. Oh, I don't think that's what I really want. All right, well. All right, let's just get rid of that then. I'll just do this manually. Fine. Whatever. Let's go over to web uploads, and then I just got to find the path, which is here. And then we cd into that path, open dot. No, wait, no, I don't need to find the path. What am I talking about? Yeah, in fact, I should probably write this in Steam Deck. Also, if you want, you can just use the web upload tool to pull the .zip file directly from Skeleseller's output folder rather than needing to do anything special. Yeah, so that's pretty good. And let's just get rid of that as well. And it'll just call export Steam. And then I will choose the file here. Choose skeleseller.zip. Did I build it? I think I built it. I used standard, I guess, when we do that. All right. Loving the shorts, thanks. So very sour. Yeah, I just published a new one while I was streaming today, and then there will be one final one tomorrow. I might make some more. They've been doing like moderately well. I was sharing the stats earlier, and I got something like maybe plus 90 wish lists over a typical week. So maybe those all came from the shorts, but I shared, well, like 4 on TikTok. I've shared 6 on YouTube, and I shared 1 on Instagram. So I'm running out of, like, I only made 7. So I have 3 more I can share on TikTok, 6 more on Instagram, and 1 more on YouTube. So I don't think we're going to get like a crazy amount more views or wish lists. But yeah, let's see. Post a blog post today named Discord launches teen by default settings globally. Huh. No way of seeing where these come from. There would have been a way if I had linked them with a UTM parameter, I think. Or maybe? No, maybe you can't tell where wish lists come from, but you can tell how people make it to the Steam page. Because I already wish list. Oh, yeah. And that's fine. I a lot of it's spreading awareness, or it's just getting people to talk about the game. All right, so I think we're good here. Let's try this out now. Please work. Please work. So there's got to be an update button, though, and there's no update button right now. Can someone link that blog post in, by the way? Why is there no update button? How do we get this? Oh, I think I have to go back to the library, maybe? No, it's still not showing. Verify integrity of files. Did that work? Updating. Oh, look at that. But this is not an update on the Steam Deck, is it? Is it? How would I even know? I wouldn't know. I guess let's just try it and see what happens. Please work. It looks like it's working. It looks like that's all we needed to do. Man, if that's it, I am so happy about this, because I did not want to spend forever working on this. We have other issues we need to solve, but I think we can solve all those on Mac, which would cut out the tedium of having to publish. So let's just try like playing the game for a little bit and see what happens. Oh, it's a little, okay, it's a little too sensitive. Can you turn that down? I wonder if you can turn that down. Yeah, there's probably some way to like change the dead zone, or I don't know, sensitivity or something. I'm not gonna, let's just struggle with it. All right, so I want to turn up the sound. Can I just tap on the screen? I can. Oh, that's a lot easier too. Tap the skip button. Yeah, it's pretty natural. All right, but let's try the controller, because now I can use this, right? Yeah. I can't open the battle map with a key, but I can press... Oh, this looks pretty good. It's taking up the entire screen. Oh, wait, you can open the... Oh, I see what's going on. Wow, pretty neat. Just gonna kick back and play on the Steam Deck. I want to play at least for a little bit and just see kind of how does this all feel. The battle window's not too large. I can read the text. Although I could make it smaller if I want to. I could even move it around. Oh, what about dragging a potion? Nice. Is this your game? Yeah, this is my game. This is Skeleseller. Let me nab these and this while it still exists. Where's the other apple? There it is. Yeah, once you use the camera control, I feel like it's easier with both sticks at once. I do think there's some... Can I tell the frame rate on this? Can I like have it print on screen? Frame limit, disable, allow tearing. How do you show... Oh, show perf overlay. Is that working? Where does that go? Where do you see... Huh. Yeah, I don't know how you show the FPS in Steam. How's it feel to pan around? That's pretty natural. Yeah. And I guess I could just use my finger too and just pan this like this, which is also pretty natural. All right, let's go get the town hall. Yeah, that's all pretty good. But yeah, how do I see FPS? Steam Deck show FPS. Display on your Steam Deck enabling the performance overlay. I did this though. It's not showing. What am I supposed to do after that? Oh, performance overlay level option? Maybe I didn't change that. I don't see that. How do I do that? Performance overlay level. Where's that? Oh, there it is. Oh, neat. Now it's showing the FPS. Can you see that on my screen? No. Okay. Well, anyway, so it's, yeah, it's at 60 right now. It goes down to 52 every once in a while, and I can't tell, is it because I'm streaming it to my computer? Oh, we're getting a lot of items. We should probably feed some of these over here. Yeah, it's very likely. Okay, let me just hold the camera button and see what happens. I could dip to 58 right there. It's 60, 60, 60, yep. So it's not just moving the camera. I wonder if it's when it's static for a while and then I move the camera? No. Can I zoom out? Whoa, okay, zooming is really tough on the Steam Deck. Oh wait, no, maybe I'm not zooming. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's panning weirdly. I don't even think I can zoom on the Steam Deck then, can I? I need to set a button and I don't think you can do that. Zoom in. Set this to Y. Okay, you can apparently do that. And then what I just... Well, I guess we should make a zoom out as well. I can't pan... Oh, I can pan this like this. Done. Save. Back. Okay, nice. So if I zoom all the way out, we're still running at 60 frames per second. Is the art mine? So mine in the legal sense, but not mine in the I made it sense. If you... Hang on, I'll have it type it out. Check out the credits command. Because that should type in to chat. Yep, there we go. Okay, there's a link. And that link is with all the people who've worked on the game. Quickie Joe made most of the art, but there were some asset packs before that. But that's all in that credits command there. Okay, so I can zoom in now. Actually, that's pretty natural. I think that's good. I don't know how often I want to use that. But yeah, the occasional frame dips are a little bit concerning. I should try again when I'm not streaming on the computer. Okay, so let's just hire the next adventurer and beat the... Whoops, that didn't work. There we go. And then we send them both into here. And then expand. Nice. I think there was a frame dip right there too. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. where's the confetti? There's the confetti. All right. Yeah, okay, pretty good. Let me stop streaming. And stop streaming the game, I mean. Hey, Sunset Knight, interesting looking game. Is it technically an idle game then? So I consider it to be idle light. Like, it's meant to be played semi-actively. It's not the kind of game you just leave running overnight. In fact, if you did that, you'd come back and you'd have just beaten the game within like 2 minutes of coming back, probably. So yeah, I think it's more fun played while you're actually there, but you're not super active. All right, so I'm going to try one more thing, which unfortunately you won't be able to see, but as long as I'm here and I'm thinking about this, I want to do this, which is I'm going to run the game without streaming it and see, does that make the FPS better somehow? So let me continue the game I had running. And I'm going to start a battle. Oh, nice, it's already starting. Okay. So, oh, and I don't have sound on. Nice. All right, I know you can't see this. I'm just checking for frame drops. Okay, yeah, it still does drop occasionally. So it's not just the streaming thing. That's unfortunate. And I wonder how bad it would get toward the end of the game. And I also wonder what's doing that. Why is it such a noticeable drop? Is it caused by creating text, maybe? Because I thought it was from moving the camera. Maybe it isn't. Huh. Strange. Is it when my character picks up an item? I don't know what's causing it. Yeah, I don't know what's causing it. It does seem to be, I think it's maybe when I win a battle. And I think this was reported a while ago. Sorry, let me take one more look. What's the price going on release? It'll be $15 with a 15% discount. So $12.75, I believe. No, it's not necessarily winning a battle. Okay, yeah, something's causing... Okay, well, we'll need to look into this, but whatever. We can do that on any platform. So I'm going to quit this, and we're going to say that this is pretty much fixed. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. All right, we have some other issues, though, and those I can fix directly on the Mac, I believe. So let's go check in everything I've done and then take a break. All right, so we've got a bunch of notes. I still need to save these notes somewhere. Is this your first game? No, it's not my first game. The last game I made was Botland, although it's not playable right now. But I made this on stream as well. This took 5 years. This also wasn't really my first game. But there's a gigantic post-mortem blog post that talks about how that went back to like 2010. And then somewhere in there, I worked on a game called Ophog, which is also, this one's freely available if you want to play this one. How much AI is used here for coding? I had Copilot running for probably the majority of the time I was coding this, but it was mostly as autocomplete. I have the AI disclosures somewhere. Where is that? I think I put it on the Steam forums. I'll link you the document if you want to read more. Yeah, I made an AI disclosure. And it does talk about it for coding, for art, for music, for sounds, for whatever I used. And basically the bulk of it was for, yeah, like I said, smart autocomplete for code. And then for non-English translations of the game, which none of the machine translations are surfaced in the game unless a human reviewed them first. Aren't you losing a lot of time here compared to competitors? I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so let's check in what I did. We have quite a lot here, but not all of it matters. So this is just a note about how to run the release tool. Update release instructions. All right, Steam Deck, what do we have here? That's just change in formatting. This is how to test on the Steam Deck. I think let's keep this in the commit. This is part of that commit too. The title screen, we changed the color, but otherwise nothing. I did technically set this mouse filter, which I guess I want to keep. So let's revert this. and maybe this and this. And just check this in case it does something. Set mouse filter on specific title screen element. This control should have a size of 0 no matter what. So this is functionally identical to not having made this commit. Something to be said about community as well. Sorry, I might have missed the context for that. Is that in the context of AI? Or are we talking about game dev? I enjoy the lack of vibe coding here in my life these days, sadly. Yeah, I want to try it for some like one-off tools that even if they're broken, don't really matter. So for example, someone suggested that I make a Discord bot that announces Skeleseller streams. This is probably not worth my like full manual coding time. It's also not like super difficult to make, but I bet an AI could do this pretty easily. And like if the bot works even half the time, okay, great. It'll announce some streams and we could just make a channel for it. And if I don't have this, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? Oh, about losing time, maybe building versus talking to your community. Oh, no, I think what Flo is talking about is AI though. Like, I think the question is basically by not using AI as much as you could be, aren't you losing time? I think that's what the question was. And that's where I said, I don't know, maybe. But on the stream side of things, like the way I've always looked at streaming and is that there are pros and cons. And the pros are generally like there is some amount of socializing for me, which is a good thing, which you could also consider that a con. So socializing for my sanity, whereas socializing for my productivity. Another pro is getting ideas from people, spreading awareness about the game, and just staying accountable. And yeah, cons, I mean, that's probably the biggest one is interrupting my train of thought, losing context, and potentially like having to, I mean, it's all interactivity stuff, hurting productivity, but yeah, like having to explain what I'm doing or getting sidetracked, those sorts of things. Yeah. No, the pros of streaming, it truly is chat. Otherwise, there's no real benefit. I mean, if there weren't viewers, I guess if all of you were watching but not chatting, there could still be a benefit, but I think that would not be great for me. Rubber duck effect is pretty big. Yeah, it definitely is. And I started narrating my code even when I'm not streaming. Okay, so this is definitely weird. And this is something we only need to do on Linux. How do we detect that we're on Linux? I probably should have tested this before I put the Steam Deck away. Because I bet that, well, Godot detect OS. There's got to be some way to do this, right? Is there a way to like see if we're on Linux? Get name, here we go. BSD based operating systems. Yeah. I think I want to make a function for this. Just bought a corn. Planning to use it when on the move. Yeah, nice. Out of curiosity, where'd you get it from? And second, if you want, take a look at my key map. So I will give you a very, very brief overview of what I use. I use layers, of course. I have some combos for very common things. So for typing command and for, is that pretty much it? And some other like minor stuff like typing command A specifically in a particular layer. But one of the things that I have in particular is one-shot mods. So if I turn on my lights, you can kind of see this. Although I know it's not that easy to see. But let's say I do this. I press this key. This key is now lit up. This is shift. So now when I press something like O, it's going to type a capital O. And then now it's not lit up anymore. And now it's going to type lowercase O's. So that's the one-shot part of one-shot mods. It only affects the next thing you type. So for example, if I press command on my keyboard, it's now lit up over here. And now I can press A and select everything. I didn't need to hold Command and press A. I can do them separately. So this is a little weird for some people to get used to. You might not like it, but it's at least worth noting that you can do it and that it might be nice for you. Do you have a plan for after release? No, it's just play it by ear. I have started working on my new game just in terms of, okay, so, full disclosure here. I have always just spewed idea after idea into my notebook. And for those of you who haven't seen my notes, these are my public notes, and there are a crazy amount of these. They're not all up to date. Like, I just write a lot. But I have a private notebook with even more notes, and I write down game ideas that I have. But for my next game, I've been writing down specific ideas for that game. Well, wait, what did that say? It said a game about a skeleton. I think it said dating in there somewhere. Oh, wait, here we go. In a dating sim, you can also romance other skeletons. The AI coming up with kooky stuff. So anyway, I've been coming up with all these ideas for the new game, and I finally decided to like craft what will the intro experience be. And it's been a lot of fun to work on that. There is just something about a new project versus a project with a lot of, I don't know, pressure at this point. And Skeleseller is mature enough at this point where I'm focusing on marketing and reaching out to influencers and press. I just contacted a bunch of people with release keys. The new project, I don't have any of that. It's just freshly fallen snow everywhere. And I'm like, where do I want to play or make snowballs or make an igloo or something like that? So it's a lot of fun. I will eventually do that on stream. So that is I can't even say timeline plan. Short term, medium term, I don't know. It all depends on how Skeleseller does. The game's not done yet. No, neither game. And hey, JD. You have much better knowledge of how to build a system from the beginning. Well, the other thing too, I think the new perspective that I have is how do I market from the very beginning? So one of the things that I'm realizing, I just reached out to 2 different press contacts. And with press, you have to think, what do they care about? What press cares about is how do we get views on our site? So are they going to cover, platformer number whatever this? No, they're not going to care about that. It's got to have some kind of hook that they can then push to their viewers and say, here's what makes this platform different. You have a grappling hook and you can travel through time and you go through portals and whatever else. So I was coming up with like, what are the hooks for Skeleseller? And I've got a few of them, right? Like the whole game was streamed. It's not really an idle game. It's got a special mode at the end that changes how you play the game drastically. But for the new game, I've been thinking, let's say I were to reach out to press now, what would I say about it? And having that perspective from the beginning, I think is going to make it easier to market in the future. So I'm very, very excited about this, but I don't know when this will come to the stream. And I'd love to share my ideas with everyone, but I don't want to do it too soon. So I'm going to still sit on it for a while. So here's what I generally think could happen. March 17th is going to be the launch of Skeleseller. Then after that, there's going to be a lot of turbulence. It's going to be a combination of probably like, I want to take a vacation. I've been working really hard. I want to take a vacation. I want to figure out what supporting Skeleseller means. Is it like full-time dev for another year? Is it some features here and there? Is it just abandoning it because it didn't do well? Is it marketing? I don't know. So it's something like that. And then some amount of time later, we'll work on the new game on stream. Do you have public notes about how to approach building a game, like what you work on and how you explore and build and evaluate the process? Do you do game jams? I don't do game jams. I don't necessarily have notes on that stuff, but one of the videos that I just made pretty recently was about the evolution of Skeleseller. I recommend watching this for anyone. I showed my wife this video last night and she was like, oh my God, I can't believe, like she was blown away by this video because she's seen all the individual parts of this. Like she remembers when it was, whatever this was, day one of, she remembers this when the game looked like that. And then when the game looked like whatever I show in here, and just seeing it all come together was really nice. The reason I linked this to you, Sunset Night, is because there's a thoughts and lessons part, which is about maybe the 60% portion of the video where I just talk about here are all the things I learned and how I'll approach some things next time. So I do recommend checking out that part, and I'm happy to expand on any of that too. I went crazy with all the cheese guides. Yeah. Do I read the Chris Zukowski marketing stuff? I've read some of it. I've watched a lot of his videos. I generally like what he does, and I think it's probably helpful to a lot of game devs. But yeah, the evolution video, I put a lot of work and time into that, and I I think it's going to serve as a monument for myself in the future to look back and be like, oh my God, I forgot about all this stuff. The other thing, and I might have mentioned this the other day, but there's a game called Into the Breach, and they did a GDC talk. And in that talk, they said something like, okay, here's what our prototype looked like. And then they were like, hey, this is pretty similar to what our final game is. So then why did it take us 5 years to make the game? And that thought of, if the prototype accurately represents your game, and then even with Skeleseller, it's like, yeah, the prototype was pretty close. So then why did it take 2 years? When you watch that video that I did about the evolution, it's like, okay, I understand why it took 2 years now. But it's kind of crazy because ahead of time, you might think, oh, it's nearly done. I've got another month or two to work on the game. And that's Hofstadter's law, which is that it's difficult to predict how long software is going to take, even if you know that it's difficult to predict how long software is going to take. So we need some kind of is Linux function here. Let me go get this. I don't know where we should even put this. It's just some random function. I don't think we have like a platform thing or I don't know, any of this stuff that could maybe fit. Building, movement, town debug, destination, worker state. Paid functions. I don't have anything for this. All right, I don't know. Let's just save it somewhere else. Where shall I save you? Maybe runtime? Yeah, runtime's pretty good. All right, so like OS functions. Okay, OS functions. So I want this code in here, and this is going to be public static bool is Linux like. Is on Linux like system, something like that. Yeah, so all we care about is if you're on any of these, return true. Otherwise, return false. Use switch expression. Yeah, that's definitely better. Nice. Easy. Kind of where I'm at with some of my game jam stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. This feels good. Let's ship it. Shouldn't take long. Well, that's what's really nice about game jams. And one of the big things I talk about in that video, which if you watch, you'll see, is product market fit. I think that's part of what a game jam determines. So a lot of the reason why people do game jams is either for fun or to like test a certain thing. But at the end of it, maybe you spent 2 days doing it. You have an idea that you've now concretized to some extent. That is the first aspect of product market fit, is like, now that we have a thing that we can go test with the market, how do people rate it? How do they like it? Is this worthwhile? Was there any meaning to this? You can probably get this Fortnite map out this week. Last 3 weeks, still think it's this week. Yeah. Yeah, and it's it's pretty common, I think, to underestimate how long something's going to take. All right, so this is game source OS functions. And I want to use this. Does not match the folder structure. What did I call it? Oh, runtime. All right, I want to use this inside of where I did the virtual cursor thing, which is here. So if is on Linux-like system. Actually, we should really cache this. Nah, it doesn't really matter. Well, it kind of matters. It's just used for the virtual cursor, right? What is this function? Physics process. And it's only if you actually use the UI cursor stuff. Wait a second. What installs this thing? Like, what is this set to by default? I don't remember this. UI cursor left. Project Godot cursor left. It's only the joypad. Okay, so it's hard coded. So there's no way to do this on mouse or keyboard because you wouldn't need a virtual mouse if you have a real mouse. All right, then this is fine. All right, so if it's on a Linux-like system, do this, and then... Actually, how about we just do the whole thing all at once? Yeah, that way we don't need 2 if statements. Else, just do this part. On Linux, we have to work around this issue. All right, the issue being this. Typo and function name is on Linux like system. What's the typo? I can't see it. Or maybe you meant... Yeah, if there's a typo, I don't see it, so definitely let me know. Because I'm going to check this in otherwise. Is on. Oh, in on. Oh my god, yeah. I read it wrong like 400 times. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Give not for Bene. Oh, and also I should give Sorrow a point from earlier because they were technically correct about what was happening. All right, there we go. All right, so I should test this one more time on the Steam Deck just to make sure. I guess I should also test on my Mac. But let's start with testing on the Steam Deck. Let's just make sure it builds. Man, if I can get done with all the controller support stuff and Steam Cloud support, I'll feel pretty good about the dev of this stuff. Is that metrics on people using different platforms like the Steam Deck? I believe so, yeah. Okay, so this build. So what we're going to do is go publish a new version. Release tool. We just run that. This command. Okay. Then I got to manually upload this. Let me try this again over here. Man. Okay, the other controller issues that we have, I think are going to be maybe easy to figure out. I don't know. But like I said, we can do those on Mac, and I do want to take a break before that. But let's try this first. So I'm going to go upload a new build. Web uploads. I got to do this off screen. Give me a sec. Skeleseller, upload. Man, I'm so glad we have gigabit internet. Error failure. Strange. I guess this is what Mr. D-Boy was talking about, where this will just randomly not work. What about this time? Waiting for depot build. Done. Commit. Okay. Finished. Okay, great. Hey, Quilly. That's right, Leap Year Girl. Okay, so now we need to get this new version. There. Okay, and we should see update appear here, I think. Update required. Perfect. Update complete. And now we just click stream. How much do you pay? It's a ludicrous amount of money. Or at least I think it is. It's like $90 a month. They've raised the price, I think, 5 times since we signed up. Okay, so is this working? Yes. Nice. Yeah, cool. I wonder what other performance thing I can see here, because there's more to the performance overlay. Oh, wow. GPU, CPU. Oh, man, there's a bunch of stuff. I know you can't see this on the screen right now. Game scope. Okay, RAM 2.5 gigabytes, VRAM 0.7, GPU's at 22%. Okay, let's just hit continue and see what happens here. I want to see if I can correlate a frame drop to something spiking. Because it's probably just a function that I can fix, is my guess. GPU's at 24% right now. If I zoom out, 23%, 21%. CPU's at 15%. CPU does seem to go up a little bit here and there. Yeah, everything else looks pretty good, though. I unfortunately don't have a lot of adventurers, so I can't easily test this. I mean, we could start a second battle. Oops, I need to double click. Oh, can I switch between these? How's that work? No. Is this too big for this screen? I don't think so. I think it's fine. Yeah, okay. All right, I think everything's looking good. Let's quit. And then let's try it with a controller over here. I need Steam to be closed though if I play with a controller here. Because otherwise Steam tries taking over. Like right now. Oh wait, that's not happening. Oh, that's strange. Steam lets you control the mouse through the game and through Steam. So I think this is going to be broken right now. No, weirdly it's working. Man, this feels a lot better than the Steam Deck for some reason. And I don't think it's a controller. This is a Switch Pro controller. But like the Steam Deck controller is fine. It's just the stick is so sensitive for some reason. So like I said, there's probably a way to control that. I almost find that it doesn't matter if you can control something if most people aren't going to control it. So like imagine you have a setting that says fix all your problems in the game and someone runs into a problem. If they don't go to the settings, then it might as well be that that doesn't exist. Yeah, this is all fine. Okay, great. So let's quit this. And let's check in. All right, so I want that. I want that. I want this. Yeah, it's only used in one place. Virtual cursor. Yep, this fixes the issue. What is going on here? I don't want any of this. I don't want that, and I don't want this. And none of this stuff should be saved, I'm pretty sure. I didn't do anything special. Yeah, none of it should be saved. All right. So that is fixed controller support on Linux. What else do we have written here? Controller only shows up if you tap the screen with your finger. Window mode doesn't even impact this. Ah, look at that. That's probably why I tried windowed mode. I just left it in that. That explains how I got in that state. Dialectics tested this on Linux, and it's a problem in general, just not just on the Steam Deck. Okay, so then I need to test. I either need to send this to Xyletics or I need to test on my Chromebook too. Test the fixed build on my Chromebook or share the build with Xyletics for testing. This will make sure the virtual cursor is fixed completely. Yeah, the workaround worked. It was so easy too. Okay, so this is 1229, which is now fixed. Fix virtual cursor on Linux fixes 1229. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, Mitch. Working on a tool that will be reading data about network devices. Part of the process will be me normalizing the MAC address data. You think the proper MAC address format is that or dash? Oh, I mean, I don't really know if there's a proper way, but I think of it with colons. But yeah, I don't think it matters. Oh, man, that's wrong. All right, so now we got to fix the other controller issues. I'll take a break before that though. Wait a second. Hold on. I should put the game in full screen as long as the size is less than 1080. Yeah, what was I thinking with that? Otherwise, we're going to run into issues with the bottom number of pixels that we have. Where is that code? Yeah, here it is. This should be 1080. Or 1079. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited too, Quilly. Man, it's been such a journey to get here. Also, I know I said I'd take a break, but let me take a look at one other thing. If we go to Steam and we look at popular upcoming games and then click this, and then for some reason you have to click it again, basically. and then select everything. Skeleseller. Oh, wait, Skeleseller isn't there? Or did I just need to scroll down for it to show up? There it is. Yeah. Okay, so Skeleseller's there. It's still position 159 on the list. It's not increasing. I thought it would increase as days pass because other games are going to come out. Huh. Type of value to come back to and spend 20 minutes refreshing my. Yeah, I think we already pretty much have the thing here for this. Monitor reported height, not the window size of this or lower will default the game to full screen. Yeah. Oh, hey, Royal. Yeah. Welcome back. Yeah, I normally stream with my face cam on. I just recorded too many videos the day before. Okay, so increase the full screening height. That's not really what I should say. Increase the default to full screen height. It was 800 for the Steam Deck, but I think it should be 1079 so that we enter full screen if we can't display at the desired resolution of 1080p. Yeah. Oh, yeah, hey, Jesta. If you want, I made this video. I made this for everyone, but if you want to get caught up on pretty much everything that's happened since the beginning of Skeleseller, there's the video for it. All right, I'm going to take my quick break. For those in Twitch chat, you can play the game that comes up for this. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, so as mentioned, you can type join to join the game, and then J and a number. There's some examples here. J30 will jump to the right, J-45 will jump to the left, etc. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, hello again. How many people played? 8? Wow, nice. Okay, close the game. Hope you all had fun. So we had that controller problem, but we have another controller problem that I think we can just solve directly on the Mac. But let's go find it. I might not have filed an issue for it. Oh, hey, what's that? This. Oh, yeah, these two things still need to be done. All right, I should put some check marks here then, huh? This, I don't want to do that. But yeah, the other two need to be done. Make sure Steam and itch listings indicate that we have partial controller support. I don't know that we did that or that we have to do that, but this one we probably have to do. Okay, well, we have another controller issue somewhere down here. Where is it? Make it so you can scroll key bindings menu with the camera keys. Otherwise, it's really hard to use. So I'm pretty sure that's already done. Let's just go look at this. But yeah, rebinding with a controller, I don't think is possible. I think it tries rebinding to like the mouse button and that doesn't work. And yeah, it's not great. Okay, so we want to go into this. Oops, there we go. Yep, nice, that's working. All right, that's fine. Fix how you rebind with the controller. You have to use the stick and click, both of which will be detected as rebinds for the current function. So there's no way to bind a zoom in key. Yeah, I think this should be as simple as just ignoring those. They're just like hard-coded things that you can't change. So the problem is this. If I try moving to the confirm button, in moving there, I have to move the virtual cursor, which triggers both axes, X and Y. But then when I finally click, it's going to do these triggers or the shoulder, which is the click button. So I'm only ever going to try binding this to one of these, which then breaks it. So yeah, I gotta stop that from happening. But I don't think that's that hard to do. I wonder if we should allow rebinding the mouse button. We should prevent binding to the virtual cursor buttons. This is going to cause problems for people, for sure. It's just the last button, and then you have to click like a bind again. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, something like that could work. I think we should just prevent these from being bound, though, because we'll have an issue if you did bind it to something like this and then clicked confirm. Because now it's going to try zooming in every time you mess with this stuff. Hey, Ryan, thanks for the raid. Welcome, everybody. How you doing today? We are working on Skeleseller, and we are trying to fix a particular controller issue. So right now you can move with a controller, you can move a virtual cursor on the screen. So you see it moving my mouse, and then you can click stuff. But then when you try moving here, it thinks that you're remapping a key to the virtual cursor. And then when you try clicking, it thinks you're remapping the key that you click with. So yeah, we already have all of the other things working. Like you can remap any other control. You just can't do it using a controller. Hey, Ecliph. But yeah, for those who haven't seen the game, I'll show this off really quickly. So this is Skeleseller. It's a very laid back, casual fantasy game where you hire adventurers. There's my rogue. And you send them into battle. So let's send them into the forest. And they fight automatically for you. So they're just chopping away at this bat. And I'll speed this up a little bit. When you win this battle, you earn items, which will just pop out of your portal. And then your skeleton will bring it to your shops where customers will come and buy those items. And you can also bring them to your shops if you want to. They bought that for 3 gold. They're going to come over and buy one of these. And then, yeah, you'll do more battles. You'll build up your town. You'll level up your adventurers. Hey, Alcrest. And hey, Bums. So you can't remap mouse buttons? No, you can't. No. And I don't plan on supporting that. But if we needed to at some point, we could. By the way, for multiple inputs, though, usually games either jump to the next one or make you click a key to start binding. So in this case, you do click something to start binding. The reason why we don't just jump to another one is because let's say you bind it to something that's already taken. Like, Apparently I can't bind it to something that's already taken. All right, well, let's say we do this over here. I guess let's try binding this to A. Oh, it just doesn't show you anything now. Oh, now it works. Okay, yeah, so cannot bind A to zoom in. It's currently bound to camera left. So that's why we did this. Maybe not the best thing, but yeah, also we do have a problem with this, which is the wrong things getting the input. I think that's the real issue, is that the inputs are going to the game settings menu, not the rebind dialog. I was working on a player database to save game state. Mind if I post a Steam link? Yeah, sure. That's fine. Yeah. How'd the progress go today? Oh, I can tag you in this. It's cool if you post it. Yeah. Yeah, I keep forgetting to run ads during the game that we play on stream. I gotta stop doing that. All right, so I think the way we're gonna do this is to just stop you from pressing any of those things that you could press. This is right stick, and what are the click buttons set to? By the way, one thing I would prefer if you don't do in chat, I know you can't probably hear me, but I do have a no segmenting policy. Yeah, but hopefully the text is clear for that. So let's see what this is bound to right now. Let's go to project.godot, and we should find a cursor click. Yeah, here it is. And this is bound to two different things. Yeah. And I think that players wouldn't want it bound to both by default. Whoops. But I'm not totally sure what they're going to want it to be. Input map. Cursor click. Where's cursor click here? RT and RB. And also this? What? We bind it to three different things? That seems weird. Oh my god, we do. Okay, yeah, that's maybe a little too much. Yeah, because if you can't rebind these. You need at least one thing bound to this or you won't be able to. Well, I guess you could always use confirm. No, you can't use confirm though. Oh god. I got to figure out how this is supposed to work. So let's say I bind this to whatever, X, and I press confirm. No, that doesn't work. And there's no way to rebind confirm anyway. So yeah, I think there's a lot of little usability things with this we got to fix. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it. Yeah. And yeah, how are you doing in terms of wishlist Sun, Woods of War? Because I always find those stats interesting. Skelesellers, it's been going up lately. I produced a whole bunch of shorts for it. I imagine it's easier when you're an artist to make compelling, like, marketing materials, but I'm not an artist. So I don't have an eye for anything. We should allow rebinding the click key for joypad. Or allow you to have multiple? I don't think you need multiple necessarily. Otherwise, how are you going to know that you can do this? Maybe if we detect that you're using a controller with the virtual cursor, we can tell you which key is bound to click. Also, confirming via controller should probably accept the current shortcut, since there's no way to rebind confirm anyway. Did you know or find someone to do art in Skeleseller? Yeah, so originally I was just using these asset packs that are here. Well, actually, I guess just this. And yeah, another one that's no longer in the credits because we no longer use it. But then Quickie Joe, who's been watching the stream for a while, I can't remember if he reached out to me or if I reached out to him. But one of us reached out, and then he's done magnificent work. He made Skeleseller look like how it does. Yeah, so there are a lot of improvements we got to make to this. We should probably tackle just one of these at a time. Let's start with this one. Yeah. Want to give you for the most recent set of shorts. They all felt polished, but not quite as polished. I think they show your personality and overall demeanor a bit more, and I really like that change. Wait, what's the... I'm fine with whatever your feedback is. I don't understand this part, though. Not quite as polished, not quite as stiff. But yeah, I'm glad you like them. I want to do a couple more, I think. That's the dream, finding a good artist to work with. Yeah, I think it is great if you lack the art skills yourself. Although even if you have the art skills, maybe you just want to save yourself some time. And I've got to figure out what I'm doing for the next game, both in terms of coding and in terms of art. Like, I can code the game myself, but it's nice working with someone else. And yeah, same thing for art. I think having a dedicated artist would be good given the vision I have for the game. But yeah, I still got to think about this stuff. And hang on that. All right, well, let's allow for pressing confirm to do this. So there's a keybind, action, menu, etc. Let's figure out how this works. So Kevin wrote a lot of this code, and I've got to figure out now how to add in what I want for this. Is valid keybind. If it's not a valid keybind, just return. I want it to confirm this thing though. Where is the confirm button? Yeah, there it is. Oh, I see, Mitch. Gotcha. Yeah, I think a lot of that just comes with experience. And kind of knowing what I can do well. I watched a hardware reviewer, and he had like 3 million subscribers on YouTube. And the way that he talked was like more entertaining than the average person. And I imagine that that is part of why he got 3 million subscribers. Oh yeah, take care, Ryan. I totally understand. And thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, so let's go find the confirm button. On remap dialog option pressed. So this is when you press confirm, do all the confirm stuff. Okay, confirm button pressed. We don't have an explicit thing for this. So let's do this like this. Confirm button pressed. Put this down here. So now we need to do this when you actually press confirm, which I guess should be handled via input. So if remap state is null, this only gets set when... Yeah, okay, I see. Or the event is released, or it's an echo, or it is not a valid keybind. What does it mean to not be a valid keybind? Disallowed joy buttons. Is this start and guide? Why is this disallowed? Yeah, why would we do this? That's strange. Huh. Yeah, thank you, Mitch. I don't know why we block these. So wait, that means that I can't press the start button over here? Or which I guess is plus on here? Yeah, that doesn't work. And minus doesn't work? No, minus works, but I wonder what this button's going to do. Uh-oh. I don't know, don't allow. What does the home button do? Okay. All right, well, I can't press plus. I'm guessing that's considered start. Do you think the launch date is coming quickly or slowly? I think it's pretty quick. Yeah, I think it's pretty quick. One of the things I always kind of think about is if you know the start time of something or start time or distance of something, like let's say you're going to go run 5 miles. For whatever reason, I feel like the 2.5 mile mark is an important point because up until then, it feels like, oh, I'm not even halfway there. And I get that there's like a Zeno's paradox thing happening, right? You can sort of infinitely get to the halfway point. But yeah, that first halfway point is kind of interesting. With Skeleseller, the first halfway point was, what, like a year ago? But I didn't know that it was a year ago. So now that I set the release date, which I don't even remember when I did that, so I don't know when the first halfway point would be. But yeah, I feel like once we get to February 17th, it's going to feel very real. And it's what? February 9th right now. So yeah, next week it's going to happen. All right, so if I turn this off and run this again, what happens? Because I wonder if joypad start on a Switch Pro controller is considered the plus button. Oops, I want to do this. It is. Yeah, why did we block that? What is start considered on an Xbox controller? Xbox controller. I just want any like picture that shows the buttons pretty well. Yeah, this is fine. Is it that button? Or is that the guide button? I don't actually own an Xbox controller. Does it come to Switch? No, I don't think so. It's not that it couldn't ever come to Switch, but I just think it's going to be too much work to get it onto the Switch. So on an Xbox controller, if you're on an Xbox, what do all these buttons do? The ones in the middle. Like, what does that do? What does that do? What does that do? Because they probably do something by default, right? One of these probably brings you back to the home screen. I don't know what's what. Middle is profiles for the controller. Okay, so you wouldn't expect to be able to bind that button. But what about the other two? Because I'm debating on the Switch controller, the start button is usually game specific. Hamburger button on the right is menu. Left brings up the menu. Okay, so the left you wouldn't expect to be able to do. What does the right one do? Is that a game specific thing? It probably is, right? It's probably like an in-game menu. So I think the start button we should allow. I wonder what the guide button is on the controller I'm using. Oh, wait, we could probably figure it out by just clicking stuff over here, right? Couldn't I click this, for example, and then just click the plus? And then just press the button? Nintendo minus, back, Sony select, Xbox back. Wait, what did I just press? Oh, I pressed minus. I didn't mean to press that. I meant to press this button, which is not bindable. What about this button? Okay, that one showed up, but what is that? Guide. Okay, yes. So that one we definitely don't want to do. This is, and I should write this down. This is the Sony PS button, Xbox home, or what is it on mine? Or the Nintendo Switch home button. Typical start button. Okay, yeah. All right, so on a Switch controller, I would not expect to be able to bind home or the screenshot button. The screenshot button isn't even, I can't even see it when I press it. It doesn't do anything. So it must be some like OS level thing for Steam. And then plus and minus, I can click. That's Xbox menu, Sony select, Xbox back. Yeah, I think these are probably fine, but I don't know. All right, I'm going to allow it. Like stopping it from doing what just happened. Maybe, but I don't think the expectation is that you'd want to stop it Like, I think you just shouldn't allow people binding it. Hey, Jake, welcome in. So, okay, that's fine. I'm happy with that. So what else do we want to do? So this is okay. So if it's not a valid keybind, then where do we check for confirm? Where do we do that? There's like a UI accept somewhere. We don't ever allow binding that. Oh, we never surface it to the player, but we don't prevent you from typing it, right? I don't understand how this is working. If Godot allowed you to stop it, I doubt it. Yeah, you could stop anything else because there's no like built-in functionality for those, but probably not the home button. Oh no, it does let you type these. But if you confirm, this is going to break, right? Oh, that's not good. Okay, so I bound B to zoom in. What does that actually do in the game? Literally nothing. Yeah, so we should probably prevent that. Oh, wait, no, it does work. But it probably also closes the menu at the same time, right? It doesn't close the menu now? I don't know if it ever would have closed that one. No, I think this is bad. I think this is really bad. I don't think we should allow binding those. Excuse me. This is Skeleseller. It's a game I've been working on for the last couple of years, and we're trying to get controller rebindings working correctly. Okay, so we have two options. Option 1 is allow rebinding, confirm, and deny. And option 2 is treat them specially and prevent binding a key to them. I kind of want to just go with option number 2 for right now. Yeah, I kind of want to go with option 2. So how do we get that to work? We would go into here and we check to see if event.isKey, isn't there pressed? Is action pressed? So this would be Godot string names UI accept. Then we're going to go to the confirm key. So confirm button pressed. And if it is the cancel key, then we're going to act like you pressed whatever the other option is. What is the other option? Well, I don't know anymore. Where is it? Confirm, cancel. There it is. Remap action null. Private, void, cancel, button pressed. Cool. Cool. And now back up to here and cancel button pressed. And then we need to return out of either one of these things. Or just put an else here. All right, and then this is supposed to be UI cancel. Okay, let's try that out. This game looks fun. Yeah, thanks. You can try the demo if you want. It's there on Steam. It's got about maybe 30 to 45 minutes of gameplay if you want to check it out. And if you like it, it's coming out on March 17th. Okay, so let's do this and go to edit keybinds. And now I'm going to rebind this to Y, well, I guess X, and then press what? B? What did that do? That's confirm. So B is actually A. Some of this is kind of difficult. Okay, so now let's try pressing a different key and then pressing this, which will cancel. Yeah, perfect. Nice. All right, now the only issue is you can't click this. So this is a different problem though. So we just did several things. Let's do this one first. Allow binding keys to start. See the comment for, oh, no. Wait, what is, oh, darn it. What is start on the different controllers? I've already forgotten. Start Xbox menu Nintendo Plus. Okay. On PlayStation. Is that how you stylize PlayStation? I think it is. Yeah, it is. On PlayStation, it's start. On Xbox, it's menu. And on Nintendo, it's plus. Okay. Next up is this, which is allow confirming and denying, which is also going to stop you from binding these. So treat UI accept and UI cancel specially. You can't bind actions to these. Wait. This is, I didn't test keyboard and mouse, right? So cancel out of this. If we try rebinding zoom to Q, and I press escape, it cancels. If I try binding it to whatever, the number 9, and I press enter, it saves it. Okay. I try binding it to 8 and hit escape. Yeah, nice. You can't bind actions to these and can no longer bind actions to these keys, and pressing them while binding will either accept or cancel. Okay. Love the fact the game doesn't have a bunch of if statements for the display rows. Going to be on the limit, just shows boxes off the pathway. Oh, I see what you're saying. Because you were hacking the save file, right? Yeah. Okay, commit that. All right, so then the next thing we need to do is prevent you from rebinding some of these things and probably surface a mouse click thing. So this is done. This is only an action that's for joypad. And we're going to need another translated string for this and a tooltip. And I'd like you to be able to rebind this. Man. This is going to require special casing keyboard controls for this. Yeah. Because it's going to be a key that you can only customize on a controller. Well, in the meantime, we can stop this. We can do a couple things. We can get rid of this whole testeroni click thing. Why is any of this here? Testeroni click. You know what? None of that should be there. All right, let's delete all that. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye. All right, so those are all gone. And then cursor click, we should just set to one of these for now. I wonder which one you'd pick by default. The bumper or the trigger? Doesn't Steam Deck do something by default? Steam Deck control mouse. I think it's R2 on the Steam Deck. All right, this is why I should just stop using Bing. Is there a way to use the joystick as the mouse? I thought there's something built in, right? You just hold the Steam button to move the stick. It'll be a mouse cursor. Yeah, but then what's the click button? Okay, let's turn this on and find out. So hold the Steam button. There's a way to see the key binding somewhere. Oh, there we go. Right, oh, what? Right mouse click, L2, left mouse click, R2. Okay, so they use R2 by default. All right, so I think we should use R2 by default as well. So that means we would delete these other ones. Delete this. and delete this. Okay. Aerosol. I have control bound to my M4 and super key to M3. Nice for your workflow. I mean, I have a button, mouse with a bunch of buttons on the side of it, so I have them bound to like everything, like moving windows around, maximizing, switching tabs, closing out of tabs, page up, page down. You got me beat. Yeah. Also, please do try to be mindful of segmenting. All right, so I should check this in as like delete a bunch of extraneous controls. Delete extra controls. There were some testeroni controls that were unused. I also trimmed the number of virtual cursor click buttons down to just one, the right trigger. All right. So the final task I think we have here is preventing these things if we're not going to allow rebinding it. So the right stick should be disallowed. That should be pretty easy to do. Where is it? Close out all these things. Here, right here. All right, so joy button dot x. That's not what I want. Oh man, it doesn't exist. A, B, X, Y, back, guide, start, left stick, right stick. Here we go. Yeah, I want to prevent the right stick from working. This is reserved for the virtual cursor. All right, let's see if that worked. Use Gemini browser, and what are your thoughts on it? I don't even think I knew there was a Gemini browser. I'm kind of surprised that they made a whole browser for that. Let me see. Wait, no, there's no Gemini browser. Do you mean just, do I use Gemini in the browser? Because no, I don't. Productive day? Yeah, it's been productive so far. No, this is still working. Why is this working? They shouldn't be doing this. I just started with Home Assistant. Feels so IT now. What are you using it for? So this isn't functioning. But it should be in the banned keys that we have here. Disallowed joy button keybinds. Joy filled day? Joypad filled day. Hey, who cares? Thanks for the resub. Happy 15. It's an extension for the IDE anti-gravity that Google uses to test automation. Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. So I don't really have any thoughts about it. All right, disallowed joy button. Okay, so I don't think you can do this. I think it's because it's two different things at once. So if I put a breakpoint there and then I just nudge the stick, oh, it's not even doing anything. What? Yeah, what? Shouldn't this be called over here as soon as I press a button? There we go. Okay, what's going on now? Event as text. Joypad motion on axis 2, right? X axis. All right, so now we go into this function. Okay, that was weird. That didn't go into that function. What is happening right now? Oh, there we go. Okay, there's this released. And yeah, now it's doing something funky again. Got it. Almost. No. Would you please just... It's because I pressed it. Now it's going to get triggered again, but this time with is valid keybind. Oh, man. And now I got to go through all this again. Wait, no, that's not right. What is going on here? Why is it getting like 4 events for this? I haven't even touched the stick. Okay, let's just fix this. So it is valid keybind. I just want something in here. Can I not just set a breakpoint on this? I'm just gonna put it everywhere. We'll eventually figure out how this is supposed to work. I'm doing pretty well today. How are you doing today? Who cares? I like to use Copilot when I'm looking for some C# specific info. I like to think that because it's Microsoft AI is more well informed. I bet it's just based on how much training data they had for C#, which maybe they trained it on some internal Microsoft code base, which could maybe imply that there was a correlation between them having the expertise or not. But it's probably just based on like GitHub. All different apps in one dashboard. It only runs locally, but I bought a domain so I can access it online. Yeah, I think this stuff is nice to look into. I haven't done a lot with the home automation stuff. Just light control. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and we're going to press that, and nice. Okay, this finally worked. Now let's look at the event. So what I want to find out is this. Input when event is this. So we should go into this, but button index probably doesn't exist. Input event joypad button event through an exception of invalid cast. Oh, because it's motion. So there's got to be some like joypad motion event, I guess. And then there's no button index. Ah, there we go. Okay, this will tell us what axis we're on and also which stick we're on. This is right X. So axis could presumably be right Y, left X, and left Y. Okay, so this is what I want. So we got to go make another thing for this. All right, that's not too bad. I'll just get rid of all my breakpoints now. When it is joy motion, and then disallowed joy motion keybinds. And this is axis. Yeah. So now we make another one of these, and this is not a joy button, this is a joy axis, and we're going to disallow joy axis dot right X and right Y. Good. Is that just working? Okay, yeah, that should work. Let's try it. Some steak for dinner. Nice, 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 nice. I'm getting pretty hungry, actually. It's only 11? What? Normally time like zips by. I'm kind of surprised. Maybe it's because of when I took my break. All right, let's try this out now. Nice. Okay, great. So now when we try pressing a key and then we, oh, that's at the zoom. Okay, and then we click this, it's going to fail. So this is our new problem that we have, which is that trigger right is devoted to clicking. So when you click the confirm button, it should do the thing. So we just need to look at input, don't we? Where's input? Yeah, here it is. So if you pressed the virtual, what's it called? What is it called? Cursor click. If you press cursor click, we should just do nothing. Do nothing. We don't want to allow rebinding this. All right, that might break things. All right, so we click over here, edit keybinds, click this, press a key, go to confirm. It worked. It worked. goodness. Nice. Yeah, really nice. Wait, did default not work here? Default doesn't do anything? Is it because we don't have a default? Huh. I don't think this was ever tested. So if I set this to something like this and then hit default, yeah, it just doesn't do anything. Wait, did it break? Left shoulder, default, confirm. Oh, interesting. It is unsetting it. There's just a different bug here. So you can't do this? Yeah, because then you can't confirm it. But you probably can for panel, right? Yeah, because it sets it to X. Oh, that's a bug. All right, well, if you, so like set, what should I set? It's got to be something without a default. Is there anything on keyboard without a default? No, there isn't. Okay, so set, I guess, zoom out or zoom in or whatever. It doesn't matter which one. Set zoom in on a controller to any button and save it. Now edit that mapping and click default. It'll do it. Yeah, it won't let you confirm because clicking default is supposed to be a step or supposed to like set the key that was used as the default, but zoom in on controller doesn't even have a default. Let me guess, the game has a few bugs or so. Yeah, I think every single game, even released games, even AAA games, will have bugs, and it's just a question of like how much do they get in the way. This game is still in development, so these bugs that we're fixing are bugs that we know we have to fix. But then, yeah, there are probably some things that I would consider bugs in the game that aren't worth fixing. Like one of them that I just came to the conclusion we're probably not going to fix is if you hover and like, let's say you're holding an item, you can see the garbage slime is outlined white. If we hover over them, they get even a thicker outline, and then we stop and it goes away and it'll never come. Well, I guess it does come back. But anyway, that first outline of just picking up an item never comes back. So you need to drop it and pick it up again. Like that's a bug, but it just doesn't really matter. Hey, Zachariah. Bugs as features. I mean, some bugs are features. I think they end up being good gameplay mechanics or something like that. Other ones, like that thing I just showed off, is not a feature. It is just a bug. But it's just not important. All right, so we've stopped binding to those. Okay, so I want this code. I don't actually care about this. Let's revert that. That looks good. That looks good. That looks good. And that's everything. Okay. Virtual clicks. Okay, so disallow rebinding the virtual cursor. So before this, it was impossible to press a key on the controller and then use the virtual cursor to accept it, because moving the cursor would overwrite whatever you pressed to be right X or right Y. Even if it didn't, clicking would have overridden it. Now those keys are reserved for the virtual cursor. Oh no, there's something in keybinds menu that I did not check in. Whoops. Okay. Well, amend. Done. How does it know to ignore keyboard when trying to bind controller? And won't that cause issues for generic controllers? Godot itself separates how they're surfaced to the developer. So we just know what we're rebinding at the time. Yeah, that should be it pretty much. New Pokemon games. Yeah, Bethesda games kind of have that reputation too of just having a lot of bugs in them. There are a few bugs, double shot, melee, instant shot. Oh yeah, yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, in competitive games, like people will exploit those bugs. In Super Smash Bros. Melee, that happened a lot. Like there are a lot of things that they almost certainly weren't intentional and became competitive, and then there are some things that weren't intentional and can be used in kind of like for fun matches, but they're not really competitive strategies. All right, so while we're binding this, so yeah, should we allow rebinding, whatever the thing is, UI cursor click? If we do, then we need some localized strings. We also, yeah, there's also no concept of this working on mouse/keyboard. Although there could be if someone just had a keyboard and wanted to use the mouse or virtual cursor, I guess. Some bugs can be features, like a game where a bug with a bug where you earn skill experience for doing an activity like cooking and get experience nonstop. If they intended to be implemented, if I'm correct, counts as a bug as a feature. If something's intended, it's not a bug. Like if I code something where you get infinite experience when you click a certain thing, and I wanted that to happen, then I would just say that's a feature. I think a bug as a feature is like what Jesta said, where it's like, oh, hey, there might be some strange interaction with reloading a gun and shooting that gun that then players can exploit. So it's like, well, the developers never intended for it, but whatever, it leads to better skill expression or something. Whereas other games consider that stuff to just be bugs. I've been playing the finals and there was some technique you could use. I don't even remember what it was, where they were just like, look, this is too hard for new players to do. So we're just going to patch it out. So they just fixed it. Hey, no. Sorry, I'm a little bit chilly. So it is Skeleseller hoodie time. Oh, I don't think you need to be a game dev to know at least like a bug generally means it's just not intended. It's a bad thing in your code. And then what the impact is could be up to the players or up to the developer. Like I showed a bug where, there's an outline that's broken. Yeah, it's broken. It's not such a big deal. But you can imagine a bug where it's like, oh, the game crashes when you do this set of actions. Like that's almost everyone would consider super high priority to fix. You generally don't want your game crashing. And this is why development in the console era was so difficult, I think, because once you shipped your game out, you were shipping physical copies. You couldn't then recall all those physical copies. And you couldn't update once it was already out there because there was no internet connection on these consoles. So you just, if there's a bug in the game, there's a bug in the game. Hey, Codex, didn't originally intend for sliding to be primary means of movement. Yeah, speedrunners find and exploit all sorts of bugs. Okay, so we still have some issues here that are making this, well, this one in particular needs to be fixed. I'd like to fix this now. Yeah, so this is done. If you try to map a key to something that's already bound, you get a warning. So I want to fix those things. And then what? Zooming with the controller doesn't work if the battle window has the focus. This should already be done. Do all the controller stuff now that remapping is possible? What's this? Oh, yeah, sure. So we got to do this stuff too. You need to handle the case where you can't rebind a key to a duplicate. This will make it really hard to set up key bindings for controller. Codex, I might need to ask you to test this again at some point, but I haven't actually pushed a new build yet. Used to mod a game called Fallout Shelter. That was buggy when it came to mods. Oh yeah, a lot of games are buggy when it comes to mods because either they never intended for there to be mods and the community added them themselves, or just that mods are the low priority for them. So when they break something, they don't test all the mods. It's also pretty hard to do that, I'd say. Must have been stressful to release with no patch options. Oh yeah, I bet it was. And then once games could be connected to the internet, there were some like tricks that developers would use to still patch their game somehow. And nowadays it's like, look, you could release a totally broken game on day one and most players will just download a patch for it. But every once in a while you'll find someone who only plays offline. I mean, obviously you don't want to release a fully broken game. And I think that'd be hard to do because there's still some QA processes for these games. I mean, even on Steam, it's like I could now click a button and launch my game today because Steam reviewed it. So like they must have run it. And they even told me we only ran it on Windows. So it could be a Mac problem. Okay, well, let's figure out how we're going to solve this one. So when you press the default button, that's in what? Key menu? Yeah, here it is. So remap event, joypad to input event. So if this is null, so let's just put a breakpoint there. If this is null, then we should just like close out of that screen for you and confirm it. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Okay, that should be pretty easy. Yeah, I'd like to work through some of these bugs. All right, so let's go back to this. And oh, right, I changed what left click is. And then over to here, and then here I click default. It should break in, perfect. And then this is probably nothing, right? No, yes, great. Okay. So here's what we do. If the default was null. Oh, whoops, I shouldn't close out of that. Okay, whoops. Fine. Let's try this one more time. Oh, I didn't close out of it. Oh, good. So I just click it again, right? Yeah, nice. Whew. Saved. All right. We want to check this. Joypad. No, not that. Remap event is null. Yeah. That's what I want to do. So if remap event is null, then we just confirm it. Otherwise, we update this. So if there was no default mapping, then just accept the change. Otherwise, show that change to the player. All right, that should fix that bug. I use Steam. I heard they'll not be using some Windows operating systems. Maybe they're dropping support for an older version. I don't know what they're still supporting. But yeah, every once in a while, Microsoft will end of life an operating system. And I don't know what's even supported now. It's probably like Windows 10 and 11, and that's it. Supported Windows versions. Like I doubt they're supporting 8 still, right? Yeah, 10 and 11. And they're probably going to stop supporting 10 after some amount of time. Yeah, I don't know where it is, though. Just 11. I see. What was the hardest part you had to do in this game and why? Someone asked me this the other day, and I kind of said it was the game design iteration. And the why is because it takes a while. And because you code things knowing you may throw them away. So if we just look at a tiny piece of this, we have the enchanter in the game. And the way that the enchanter works in the current version is, hang on a second, is they have a mana crystal and they have some spell books. And the spells do different things, and you can cast a spell and it opens a book and it takes some mana and it gives you an effect. So in this case, your workers move faster now for some amount of time. So this is the design we settled on. Before we had this design, we had 2 other, I'd say, distinct enough designs, and one of them was you dragged an item to the enchanter and it disenchanted the item into a buff for battles, I think it was. And the other one was something like, it was like kind of what you saw here, but with multiple spell crystals. Anyway, this was like just a bad idea pretty much. It didn't work for the game, but we needed to spend enough time coding it to find out that it wouldn't work. Because it sounded like a good idea. And then this just turned out to be a little bit too complex, so we had to refine it some more. all in all, this probably took, I'm just making up a number, like 2 weeks of time or a week and a half or something like that. And that's a week and a half that it was just to try to find what are we going to even code. It's not like the code for this was bad. I just had to delete it because we didn't want the feature anymore. So yeah, that was tough. And the way I kind of say this is like, let's say you wanted to clone Skeleseller. If you're like, okay, well, look, all this stuff worked. Maybe we need to change shops around a little bit. It's like, okay, you just change that tiny bit of the game, but then you code everything else knowing what it's supposed to look like. When you don't know what something's supposed to look like, it becomes really difficult to find that. And I think some of it's honing your game dev skills, and some of it is just, you just got to experiment. I think lots of game devs do that. Okay, so now if we click this and go to default, it should just close the menu. It did not set this to null though. Okay, so then I guess you can't just hit confirm. What does that do? Apply remap. If it's null, do nothing. Ugh. Man. Yeah, remap. I think remap event is null. How do we set something back to null then? Set keybind override. Action and mapping data. I'm not so sure about this. Yeah, where do we allow nulling something out? Getting ready for making my own game. That's what I'm asking. It's really nice compared to what I saw a long time ago. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, as far as making your own game, like I think depending on where you are in terms of your game dev journey and just your experience level, you might have different things be difficult. So let's say it's your first ever game and you're new to programming, you will probably find the actual development will be the hardest. In fact, you might even just say, okay, I'm going to clone whatever Minecraft. Well, now the game design's cut out pretty much completely. Yeah, you're not going to find game design to be the hardest part. But I think you'd also find it to be, well, it depends if you're doing game design in this case, but you probably wouldn't find it to be the hardest part. But if you made 10 games in the past, then the hardest thing you might find is maybe marketing aspect or something, or yeah, the actual idea for your game. So how do we null this out? Probably just here. Yeah. Remap state.value.action current override. I got to see what these things are set to normally. Let's go take a look. So let's say I set this to this. What happens? Confirm. So the action is what? UI zoom in. The override is a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so I wonder what happens if we just set override to null. Yeah, we must be able to. Right? Oh, no, I don't think the scenario exists. I think it was just to check to see. Oh, darn it. Yeah, we need to do this code. Let's just get override based on an action, though. What causes us to return null? Oh, man. Override mapping. Okay, so we do allow this to be null. Now, I want a way to set this to nothing. But it means that we need... Okay, let's try something out here. Let's set current override equals... We can't just set this to null, right? It has to be set to something. And I can't set it to... Oh, man. Oh, wait, we could set it to null and null. Yeah, let's try that. And thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. And good luck with your game. Hey Vex, Steam client recently stopped supporting Windows 10 32-bit. Yeah, I'm surprised 32-bit operating systems, like consumer operating systems, even existed anymore. Like, what modern computers are produced with fewer than 4 gigabytes of RAM? Yeah. All right, so what are we doing here? We're clicking this and then just anything, and then confirm, and it should null it out. It did, but it also changed the keyboard one. I'm glad I coincidentally modified that. Otherwise, we'd have a big problem here. Yeah. All right, so we want to make a new thing for just what you're remapping right now. Oh man. Yeah, this is difficult. All right, let's go into this again and find out what's happening. So I click this default, and now what? Remap state is null. Oh, it's not null, and it knows that it's a joypad. It's just the event that's null. Okay, I think I know what we need to do then. So we get rid of this, and then if this is null, I guess means we'd have to change this because this isn't going to even exist. Yeah, I see. Oh, God. It's so annoying. So now we're going to make a new one of these, and we need to fill in whatever we had for the opposite of what we're remapping at the time. Oh, wait, remap state exists no matter what. What am I doing? This is stupid. I'm being dumb. Yeah. All right, so if remap event is null. So we're remapping the keyboard and mouse. If the event is null, we're going to set the keyboard and mouse to null. I think. But isn't this going to break the... Get override. No, it's going to check for an override. Okay, yeah, I think this is correct. Oh, thank goodness. All right, I think that'll work. Let's try it. This is very tough. Yeah. Hey, Pressel. Pressel, I tried making you a password earlier. It said your name is not long enough. So I opted for something totally different. It worked. Look at that. It's beautiful. Oh my God. All right, now let's try it on the key side of things. Whoops. I keep clicking that. I'm going to set this to default. Okay, this I don't care about. This is probably fine. And now it should have set it back to minus or plus. Yeah, I'm on zoom in. So default doesn't do anything other than that. I hit cancel. It should go back to 9. If I hit confirm, it goes to plus. I set this. Oh, thank goodness. What made you do that? Also, am I many of your passwords? What made you do that? I thought it'd be a funny joke in case you came back. But are you many of my passwords? No, I don't know almost any of my passwords. I know maybe like 2 or 3 of them. And this one wasn't supposed to be super secure anyway. Like, let's say I had made it Hunter 2. It's a beta branch of the release version. So the number of people who have the release version is exactly 8, I think. And I don't think any of them would be in this stream. And then the beta branch, let's say they did have access to this, is an explicitly buggy branch. So there's no reason for you to want to play it. So like, yeah, there's no way to get it. And even if there were a way to get it, you wouldn't want to get it. So there's nothing. It didn't really matter what I made the password. All right, so I think this is working, but I need to test it. So let's set zoom out to this, confirm and save. Okay, so now it should be set to, what did I set it to? Trigger left. Okay, now let's go over to here, new game. How does one partake in that? Are you talking about the release version of the game? Because you just wait until March 17th and then you buy the game. But the people I sent it to already are either press or influencers. So yeah, I started reaching out to people who can cover it ahead of time so that they can release their videos at their leisure. All right, so this is working. So now what we're going to try is we're going to set this to default and then save this and go back to the game. Why didn't it ask me if I wanted... Did that work? It worked! Wow, awesome. Now I wonder if instead of escape, we should have bound this to the plus button by default. We don't even have a keybind for that, do we? We don't. Okay, well, that's too bad. Wow, so if I bind something here, okay, this is zoom in. Let's set that to zoom in and that to zoom out. And then let's open the, what should we open with this? Actually, it would be nice to be able to set previous and next perk tabs. And unfortunately, there's no way to do that. Can we set D-pad stuff? No, D-pad's already there. Wait, joypad. We could set it then, can't we? If I set this to left? No, you can't do it. It doesn't let you. Oh, man. What if I unbound those? Default. No, there's no unbinding it. Okay, what if I set this to right stick? Now, if I press... Yeah, nice. Now that's not doing anything. So now can I set this to up? You can. Interesting. Okay, let's save this and see what's going on now. So now I can press this and then press up to go back. I can't. No, because it doesn't work in there. Oh, it's only in perks. Okay, I got to get some perks then. So there's one set of perks. There is another set of perks. Now I go into this. I guess we just click the town hall. Nice. Okay, so you can bind that. So then didn't I do something else here? I did zoom out and zoom in. All right, that's pretty good. Hey, Free Technic. What were you doing away from work? Or for work? Where were you? All right, so default. Did that just operate? I don't even know what I just did. Hang on, let's undo that. Because I wasn't paying attention. I clicked default. Did it delete it? Yeah, it did. So now if I say done here, now, no, nothing's gonna work because I didn't set this. And you can't drag upward here. And now you can't scroll. Oh, it's right stick. I guess I could have. So now we save that. It's not working. Oh. Oh no, this is really bad. Okay, I know what's happening here. Oh man, there are a lot of bugs in this. If you remap the controller functions for the camera, it will unbind the left stick forever. Oh, that's too bad. In London, enjoying the rain, meeting some colleagues. Oh, nice. That Steam stream thing is cool. What are you talking about? The like stream from another computer? Because yeah, that is pretty nice. You figure out what the issue was with the Steam Deck buttons? Yes, I did. So that is solved now. There was a workaround I could use for it. Oh wait, oh sorry. The first thing, yes, that was because I wasn't full screened. So what happens is the game tries launching a 1920 by 1080 window, but the Steam Deck is only 1280 by 800. So all the bottom 280 pixels can't be used for anything. And I already knew about this and I'd already solved this. But Oh, actually, I'm kind of realizing now. If you're on a Steam Deck, we should never allow you to be in windowed mode. In fact, if you're on Steam OS, we shouldn't allow you to be in windowed mode. No, wait, that's not true about Steam OS. Oh my god, this is so complicated. Yeah, it's just if you're on a Steam Deck, we shouldn't allow it. All right, I should probably write that down. We should probably disallow being in. No, let's. I don't know. Let's wait for bug reports. Oh, the stream on the Steam page. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I just forgotten all about that because I never even look at it. You're talking about this at the top? Hey, there are 10 people on the page. These are usually people who are not watching the broadcast, but who are just on the page looking at what the game is all about. Has there been any other posts on here? No. Also, I see I have some YouTube notifications. What are these? Slime lore. Yeah. Okay, I responded to that on my break. How's that video doing? 1,200 views? 1,600 views? Why is this getting... Okay. Well, I don't know. It's probably the thumbnail. Cute and helpful. People think I'm talking about myself. Oh, man. Average view duration, 40 seconds. Oh, that's pretty good. 52-second video. Our wish list amounts publicly available. They're not publicly available, but I don't mind sharing them. We are currently at 10,931 wish lists. 10,931. Today. Quick Google to work on my passion game. For a video, I haven't been thinking about that, but I was thinking about for a Reddit post saying I quit my job, died, came back as a skeleton, then made this game. I think that'd be kind of funny and flavorful. I just love the died part of this. You should 150% do that. Yeah, I'm thinking 149% doing that. Is 11K a lot? I have no idea. Not really. Like, it all depends on the game. And wish lists don't really mean anything at the end of the day. You could have 1 million and have a conversion rate that's so low that you end up making like 10 sales. I mean, that would never happen. You never have a conversion rate that bad. But you could. So generally, like, if you have, let's say, 10,000 wish lists, people say you should probably expect between maybe like 1,000 to 3,000 sales based on those numbers, which it's not great. Not bad. I think saying you quit Google in the title would be huge clickbait. Yeah, I wonder where people see video titles though, because for shorts, I'm not sure it matters too much, but for long form videos, it might. For shorts, you'd have to be searching for something and then find it, as opposed to it just showing up on your feed. Except that one studio that's mad at Valve for messing up the wish list. Oh, yeah. Well, Valve apparently made the situation right, as far as I know, and the game did pretty well. What am I doing? What was I working on? Oh, yeah, this thing breaking. Oh, man. Okay, well, let's at least try. Can you set these things back to their defaults and have everything work? Reset all. Because I don't think that's going to work. In fact, it just made me realize. No, it doesn't work. Oh, this is really bad. This is really, really bad. Keybind overrides are set to nothing. How is this not functioning then? Do I need to restart the whole game? Maybe I'm wrong about what the repro is. Does it work now? Okay, it works now. So what do I have to do to get this to break? I have to set this to something else. So let's set this to left stick. And then just hit done, save. Now I can move in every direction except for right. And if I say to just reset all, I can still not move right. But if I save and load, it should work. No, it still doesn't. You have to like restart the whole game. Wow. Man. Repro, launch from a clean state. Rebind camera right on the controller to any other button. Yeah. Then save the key bindings. At this point, the left stick stops working, but maybe that's expected. However, resetting all of the key bindings doesn't resume left stick functionality. You have to fully restart the game. All right, well, we did fix something here. What did we fix? That you can go back to having no key binding. All right, so allow undoing a key binding that had no default. So the repro was this. Cool. Where's the resizer? There it is. Great. Oh. All right. Okay, so I think I know what's happening here. We set in the editor, I'll just reload this. We set in the editor what you're allowed to use for the camera buttons. Where is that? Yeah, here. So we have two different things. We have the D-pad right, and then we have joystick moving to the right. When you override this, you don't override it with two things, you override it with one thing. So it ceases to work. I actually think the way that we should solve this is by getting rid of the default D-pad controls and letting you bind the D-pad to something else. So basically you'd go into here and instead of saying D-pad left, right, up, and down, it would say whatever happens when you press this, which is left X. I guess that. And then I can't, for whatever reason, I can't do anything else here. I guess we'll have axis problems with this though, because these are all buttons, not axes. Ugh, yuck. I think the best solution is to allow, or like to default only to the left stick and allow binding back to the left stick if needed. That would involve binding an axis though, not a button. Yeah, controllers are so fun. Okay, well, the other things we can fix would be these things. Zooming with a controller doesn't work if the battle has the focus. We should probably not require anything to have the focus or make it so the battle window doesn't consume that event. May be difficult because I think it's happening in a different viewport. Oh my god. Nothing's easy. Nothing's ever easy. Okay, so what do? We set a zoom button. I guess let's reset everything first of all. Reset, done, save, quit. Now I set some zoom buttons. So zoom in, we'll do that. And zoom out, we'll do, whoops. I didn't mean to press that. Zoom out, we do that. And then save, go into the game. And then, no, what do we do? Oh yeah, it's already broken. So it's presumably going to here somewhere. I don't know what has the focus, but it's not. Well, now I just fixed it. But yeah, what happens when I start a battle? Yeah, I don't know what has the focus. Like if I click, then it works. But I don't think a user would expect to do that. I think they just always expect the zoom keys to work where it should. And it might be these menus it's actually the problem. No, it's not a problem there. Now it is a problem. Wasn't the buildings button? Huh, strange. So why is that happening? This happens when clicking the town menu. Like what is consuming this? The town menu is, I guess? But it doesn't even have input. Shouldn't the camera be consuming it? Camera input handler. Oh, it's an unhandled input. So this is probably, this is not getting hit, I guess. Oh, it's not even this though. There's a zoom thing. Where's the zoom thing? Project Godot, zoom, UI zoom in. UI zoom in's over there. This is being used from camera. Huh, I'm surprised the input handler doesn't specify where this should go. Battle panel tab. Okay, here. So input's just not getting hit, I'm guessing. Okay, well now it is. Oh, because this is any input. That's not what I want. That's why it's getting hit. Okay. I want it just for this, which is probably doing nothing. And what did I set that for? Is that zoom in or zoom out? Zoom in. Okay, so I press this button. It does nothing, but if I click... Oh no, I reverse things. I'm not testing this well. That's strange. It looks like it's working just fine. Huh, that is strange. But then zoom doesn't actually do anything? Zoom out works. Maybe I was zoomed in all the way already. Oh, wow. Yeah. That is weird. Is it because the mouse cursor is not in the window or something? Huh. What is this doing that is failing? New zoom index is 3. Current zoom index is 2. What? Zoom value.count is 3? What? It's not 3. Oh, it's going to the wrong camera. Oh. It's going to the battle map camera. Why? Because it's just input. Oh, God. This is why I had the input handler. Okay, well, I think it's an easy fix. Give me 1 sec. I am freezing. I'll be right back. Okay, I turned up the heat. Any reason you use C# over GDScript? Yeah, I've got my Y C# command there. It's not a super compelling answer, but there were at least my reasons. Okay, so this is going to the wrong camera because it's in input and not in camera input handler. Multiple cameras, we only want to handle input at one time. Each viewport will only have one active camera. We have multiple viewports. Yeah. All right, so this is what we have to do. So we need to route zooming functions to the right camera, which should be easy. Yeah, it should be easy. Where you have zoom in, zoom out, and we have some drag stuff. So I just copy paste this over there, right? Not can player move. Shouldn't that be done in zoom on mouse cursor? Probably. If not can player move, return. Okay. Because that would have been done originally. Now this input is deleted. And then in here, we can delete that, I guess. Or maybe we could just have checked that inside the camera. That might have been smarter. We could have. I guess it doesn't really make a difference. If camera to route to dot can play. Oh, this isn't public? No, then fine. Zoom on mouse cursor, camera to route to. So these aren't public. That's okay. I can make these public. Well, I say these. There's only one function. So get rid of you and put you up here. And are we good now? Man, that should be it. Well, well, well. I think we fixed it. I didn't realize it was only a problem with zooming. And I also didn't realize it was only with those 3 specific zoom levels. I never would have hit this if I'd only tested within those couple of values. So let's see if it's fixed now. I just make a new game. And I click over here. And we can still zoom and move the camera as expected. So probably the same thing with making a battle. Create instance. Yep. Nice. It's fixed. Wow, great. Whew, well, that was easy. Yeah, very easy. Okay, let's go check that in. Oops, not everything. Not what I want. That's what I want. Yeah, easy peasy. Okay, so fix bug with camera zooming. When using the controller, why would this happen? Because of where the town menu is. Okay, so when using the controller, depending on what had the focus, the zoom keys may go to the wrong camera. If you clicked the town menu. Wait, that can't be true. Maybe it's, oh, maybe it's going to both cameras? No, yeah, I was going to the wrong one. Yeah, using the controller, depending on what had the focus, the zoom keys may go to the wrong camera. If you click the town menu, you would end up zooming the battle map instead of the town map, despite the battle map being invisible. We now rely on camera, keyboard, input handler, which was made for exactly this reason. Hey, Zephyrus. Is the coding session going well? Yeah, it is. We've solved a few different bugs, some of which were pretty bad. All right, so this is now done. And then the only other 2 things we have here, make sure the Steam and itch listings indicate that we have controller support. I don't think itch even lets you search by controller support, does it? Browse. Man, there are a lot of horror games. Input methods, here we go. Gamepad, any, joystick. All right, so then there is a way to do this. So then do I have it set for mine? Skeleseller, edit game. There's some controller section here. Or input or something. Download, install, community. What? How do you change this? Oh, maybe it's in metadata? Accessibility. Well, configurable controls are there. So I can save that. Well, where do we, oh, input method, here we go. All right, light gun, guitar controller, definitely those. So gamepad any, keyboard, mouse. It's actually keyboard and mouse. joystick touchscreen. I guess touchscreen works, but not great. What else is there? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So let's save that. Oh, average session duration. Wow, a few minutes. Languages: English, German, French, Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, excuse me. Sorry. I was making a joke the other day that Valve says the language is Brazilian, and I had that in my head. And what else do we support? I'm missing a language. Italian. Is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I go to web late, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. All right, save changes. Did the Steam Deck issue get resolved? Yeah, I think so. I think we fixed everything there, or mostly everything. Does this make sense? So you now zoom the main map when zooming the battle map? Oh no, it only zooms one of them. Like if I go to this one, now we're zooming this one. And if I close this, now we're zooming the main one. We should probably make it so that start is bound to panel by default. Where is that? Here. So if I bind this to start, that's probably what people expect. Yeah, that feels pretty good. And then we could use the stick to move between those. So if I go to adventurers, for example, and then close this, it comes back to adventurers. I like that, but something weird is happening here. Yeah, if you have the stick pressed down and you also press plus, it doesn't let you activate plus. That's strange. Yeah, let's bind that by default though. What is that called? Panel? Toggle tab panel and toggle battle panel. This one. I want this set to start by default. There. But then don't I need to put that into the game itself? It's not going to just know that's a default, will it? I don't know how that works. Because I don't know where it pulls this stuff from. So we click that and that. Panel is set to start, but if I click default, it knows? How does it know? Cool. Well, it knows. Great. Bind start to the panel. This makes using various menus easier on controller. Excuse me. Okay, so wait, I set this over here and I saved this. Now on Steam, how do you do this? Because I don't think any controller support is listed. Accessibility features 4. I don't know where you set this. All right, I'll do this off stream at some point because I don't think I can show this on stream. Make sure to set that we have, like, indicate that we have controller support. All right, and then make sure the quick move menu doesn't render beneath battle windows. See this message. So we need the quick move menu. Let's just reset everything here. I don't care about this. New game. Get this. And then start a battle window, I guess. And let's just make it gigantic. And then let's give ourselves a ton of items and save. Okay, yes, it is still showing beneath the battle window. What would you expect here? Because I filed this as a bug, which means I must have expected it to be on top of the battle window. I wonder if we can just easily make that change anyway. Let's go find out. Item, action, menu. So this goes somewhere in the scene hierarchy. Where do you go? In the UI. Okay. So let's go look at UI. Item, action, menu is there. It's the very first thing. And we probably want it to show up. Where are battle windows? Instances manager. So we want it to show up there, I think. And that's it. We're done. If that's it, then that's pretty easy, I guess. I don't know what it's going to feel like, though, even if it works the way I expected it to. Yeah, so this is what I wanted it to do. But is that better? Yeah, probably that's better. Because you can always drop the item and then move the window out of the way if you want to. Yeah, I think this is good. It also shows on top of floating text now. Is there a way we can get floating text to happen? Yes, we can. Okay, so check this out. We show all signs. We get this. We max this out. And then we get a whole bunch of items and click this. So now, yeah, nice. We cover the 3G out of that. Is that what I want? Yeah, I think it's fine. And then there's one other consideration here, which is this top of scene nodes. What goes in there? Top of scene nodes. There's a function that adds to this. Here it is. What calls into that, though? Waiting for first battle. You don't have the quick move menu then. And what is this? A banner? Yeah, I don't care about that. Okay, sounds pretty good. Yeah, I agree, Freak Technic. I think this is a good change I've made. This is render quick move menu above battles. This is part of 89. Consider culling it, replacing the coin. Yes, I don't know if you saw the other stream, but I spent a long time thinking about that and decided not to do it. I'm just going to mark this as done. Yeah. I haven't updated the Steam page yet, but it's on my to-do list. So I'm going to close this since I've done the other things now. Yeah, we do a little bit of a mix, but I think I'm going to stick with the G being there. Portuguese, Italian, Spanish, all these other ones are done. Okay. All right, so what else do we have in terms of controller stuff? This is finished now. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, the controller issues are pretty much fixed. There are some oddities with this, and I suspect that if enough people play, there will be some complaints about this, and we can eventually fix those, but that it's probably not worth spending the time now. So the other two goals I had were support Steam Cloud and validate completed translations don't cause crashes. Man, the Steam Cloud stuff, I just expect to be a little bit difficult. Oh man, I fixed a bug the other day. So someone reached out to me. Let me tell you the full story. I posted on this post here. Someone said, hey, demo content. I saw some YouTube videos that has more content than the actual demo has. What gives? And I'm like, oh yeah, here's why that happened. By the way, there is a playtest version, but I'm only sharing it with people who speak one of these languages so they can test those languages. Well, someone reached out to me who speaks Spanish and Portuguese, and they said they'd be willing to help. And I'm like, well, the Portuguese has been translated already, so why don't you try that out? And they gave some really helpful feedback. They found some bugs. The game actually like kind of crashed at one point. Not really crashed, but we have strings that say something like deal some amount of damage. And the translator that we had typed this. So now it tried accessing a parameter that doesn't exist. because we would pass in damage, and this would expect you to pass in something and then damage, and we don't do that. So they caught this issue. They caught an issue where they didn't get an achievement that they should have gotten. And I looked into the code, and this is, where is it? I just had an exclamation mark here checking to make sure that if you're in story mode, just return. Well, this achievement is only for story mode, so we couldn't return from there. Hey, Nuke. It's going pretty well. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. So anyway, I'm glad that's fixed. I still haven't figured out why these UIDs keep changing, but I'm just going to check this in at this point. Accept UID change. Godot keeps trying to do this. All right, what else do we have here? Yeah, so there's some other bug fixes. Let me think about this. Days until, let's look at work days until March 17th. We have 25 business days until the game launches. And in general, we had this stuff. I think controller support can be marked done now. Localization, we're still waiting. I'm not going to do the achievements, I think. Yeah, the translation is being done by February 1st is, I guess, not going to be possible at this point because it's already passed. Add a couple more perks, stabilize and fix bugs. So if we're going to add perks, we would probably want to do that soon so that translators can translate them before the game launches. So here's what I'm thinking. I think I'll do that this task this afternoon. And then I think tomorrow we focus on any backlog stuff. Yeah. Let me go fill in the journal. Why is this taking so long? There it goes. Worked on controller issues. Fixed several bugs. And what else did we do? I don't remember. You think I pay attention to what I'm doing in any given day? Yeah, it was just controller stuff, right? Excuse me, man. Do we have anything else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All right, well, whatever. I mean, we made like 10 commits from that. And I'm feeling a lot better because if that fix hadn't worked, I would have been out of luck. So thankfully it worked. Planning on stream tomorrow? I think so. I think there's going to be no stream this afternoon. I want to work on Steam Cloud stuff and I want to just do it off stream. And hopefully I make progress. Hopefully I just fix it all and it's all working. But I don't know how that's going to go. But I want to do that this afternoon. And then tomorrow I think we get back to backlog stuff. And then I think at some point, maybe Wednesday, I'll record some more shorts. So maybe I'd skip one of those streams or both of those streams. Do you have full French translation? Yeah, it's already been done. So Hideo did all of it. If you take a look at this link, I mean, this is not like super interesting, but if you click all strings here, you'll see every single string has been translated. And Hideo put a lot of time into this. Now, that said, I think it might be in the demo. I'm not totally sure. Like, if you were to try playing the game, you may or may not see it, but I'm going to eventually push new versions. Also, when I do launch, I should make sure to launch a new demo version, too. Launch. Where is it? Fully launch the game. Yeah. Is anything written here about the demo? Yeah, I'm going to put this here. Make sure we launched a new demo version. I applied to be on the Twitch front page on the launch day. I really hope they say yes to that. I just want to celebrate on that day. I kind of want to just play Skeleseller and maybe do some giveaways or something. But if I'm not on the front page that day, I actually don't know if it's a good idea to stream the whole day. Like, I'd probably still want to celebrate with everybody and and just kind of see what's happening. But I think it would also be really good to like go check out other people's content. And I've never really done that on my own stream. I don't like streaming people's stuff without their permission. So like if I just search for Skeleseller, for example, I don't think there are new videos here, but imagine if one popped up and I'm like, oh, let's check out this person's thing. I don't do that. But I think that would be actually a pretty cool way to celebrate. Have there been any new videos? No, just my own. And how's that slime one doing? Yeah, it's okay. All right, well, let's go raid somebody. Oh, hey, Billy Kirby streaming. Let's go raid them because they have agreed to help me. They're going to stream Skeleseller, not today, but when it comes out or sometime around then probably. And they also agreed to help me reach out to other influencers, which is really nice. Are they petting a cat right now? Oh my God. I have no idea. I don't think people would mind that. They probably wouldn't, but it's still not. I don't think I'd feel comfortable doing it. Anyway, thank you all for being here. I should be back tomorrow morning. If you have not joined Discord, there are the links. If you haven't tried out Skeleseller, there's a link for that. There's a demo. And I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.